On Sunday night against Vegas, Louis, what did you make of his spoiler debut?
Well, he was great, and I think sometimes when things happen fast, I know he was kind of thrown right into the mix in a tough situation, back to back against a very good team. He just stepped in there and did what goaltenders do. You have to realize that goaltenders over the course of the career, they used to be yanked off the bench, thrown into a game, as a backup, and they never really know when they're going to start the game sometimes, so they have to be ready at all times.
What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Tuesday. We're going to do this stream just before Christmas Eve. It's December 23rd, 2025. How's everybody doing out there today? These are two teams right now in this pre-Christmas battle of Alberta that have been playing pretty well. So head coach Ryan Huska, 15-17-4, the Calgary Flames. Nazem, Kadri, Igor Sharangovich, Joel Farabee, Kevin Bahl, Rasmus Andersson, Morgan Frost, Jonathan Huberdeau, Matthew Coronato, Jan Kuznetsov, MacKenzie, Weegar. It's Michael Backlund, Connor Zeri, Blake Coleman. That third line remains unchanged because it's been hot. John Beecher, Ryan Lomberg, and Adam Klapka on the fourth line with Joel Hanley and Huberdeau. So Dustin Wolf is going to get the start in net tonight. Again, we saw Devin Cooley the other night against Vegas, who played pretty well. And when you look at, let me just refresh this here for the NHL standings. You can say what you want about the Calgary Flames and their slow start to the year. But if I would tell you now that they're 5 points away from a wild card spot, again, they don't have any games in hand, but the Utah Mammoth definitely don't either. That would certainly say a lot. So they win today, they'll get a step closer, and they probably could, considering the situation they have themselves on the other end. Now for the Edmonton Oilers, Chris Knobloch, 18-13-6. They're third in the Pacific. Again, Connor McDavid has double the amount of points, 62. Then Nazem Kadri does 31, as he has the points lead in the NHL. RNH and Zach Hyman, Matthias Ekholm, and Evan Bouchard. Leon Draisaitl, Vatsili Podkolzin, and Jack Roslovic returns. He'll be back in the second line in the right wing. Darnell Nurse and Alec Regula, the second line defense. Adam Henrique, Andrew Mangiapane, Matthew Savoy, Trent Frederick, Max Jones, Matthias Janmark, with Spencer Stasny and Ty Emberson. Connor Ingram is going to get the start in that tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. And again, you can talk about the Oilers as far as their goal scoring, their power play. Yes, they're numero uno because their power play is at 33 1/3. They're fourth in goals, 3.34, but they're also 3.34 goals against. That's 28th out of 32. So they're still winning games, but now with the injury to Tristan Jarry and Stuart Skinner already shipped out, it is fair to say, in between Connor Ingram, again, just the one start, 3 goals against, 897. Kelvin Pickard, 3-5-2, 393, 861. Their team percentage, included with Jarry, only played about 3 games, and Stuart Skinner, with the bulk of it, is 875. That's not good enough to do anything when you get to the postseason. Yeah, you might even win a couple rounds, but you're not winning a Stanley Cup with that. So that is what we have to talk about. Probably just the first period, Cooper says that he's going to miss, so I'll still have enough going on. But, yeah, with that situation in goal, there really isn't going to be much that they can do to kind of fix that right now. And that's kind of why you say maybe Tristan Jarry was a little bit of a backpedal, just to be able to get something to happen. But the goals against is just going to be what it is for the Edmonton Oilers. So you would have to think, the way this game has gone, especially how Calgary has played over the last few, this is going to be an up and down, back and forth game. If Edmonton's going to win this game, again, they lost the opener against the Flames that we covered. It was 4-3. They led 3-0. But if they're going to win this one here on this pre-Christmas back-to-back in Alberta, they're going to have to make it another high-scoring game again. I think Calgary is going to be ready for it. But I do think you will have Dustin Wolf, maybe Logan Cooley start on Saturday. That's just my thought, to give them a long break. And then I will go through some of the scores and everything as well once we get closer to it. The Dallas Stars still have a 3-2 lead over Detroit. Again, they got 4 power plays and scored on 2 of them. When you do that, if you're Detroit, it's not going to put you in good standing. So I want to know what you guys think. Who do you got tonight in this matchup? I think it's going to be pretty interesting, all things considered. Again, it'll be no Devin Cooley, Dustin Wolf, but Connor Ingram, 11-13-2 for Wolf, 292, 896, and 2 shutouts. The Edmonton Oilers have their alternate jersey. Again, this is the one game for Connor Ingram. Good to see him playing again, coming back in from the Players Assistance Program. We're going to get set to get underway here at Rogers. The next game is going to be back at the Saddle Dome. He had 35 career goals, career high, to Andrew Mangiapane several years ago with the Flames. Connor McDavid and Draisaitl are going to be on the bench to start this part of the game, as we are just going to get underway here at Rogers Place with the opening draw. As this will go back to the Edmonton Oilers. And a hit against Zary on the right side boards. That was immediate in the first 5 seconds. Hopefully he's okay. It will pop back up. We do see number 47 pop back up, so that is good to see. This will go back now for Regula and play this pass across. So all I have is the Jack Michaels feed because it's all they got here between the two. So that's all we're going to do here. Is this bounces out in front of Dustin Wolf, makes a good save off of Mangiapane. Sent out in front, glove down by Connor Zary, and we get this one out of the zone and go ahead and take a change. So that is how we will get started here. Back in behind the net, it's Evan Bouchard. Connor Ingram in the goal crease alongside Dustin Wolf, as mentioned, as Igor Sharangovich will take this one left to right. Opportunity now for Nazem Kadri as it was Farabee. Now Sharangovich on a one-on-one. He lets one go up the left pad. Connor Ingram makes the save. As this will be stick chopped away from Nazem Kadri. One shot apiece. Evan Bouchard throws it up the gut to Connor. Toward the right side, Here's a traffic out in front. Dustin Wolf will knock that away on the side of the stomach. And now Nazem Kadri on the backhand. Good pickup here for Sharangovich. And Farabee will do the same and take a change here from Ryan Huska's squad. Keeping the head up off the spin is Evan Bouchard. It's a good in-tight pass there as Savoie lost the puck there for a moment. Jack Roslovic got pickpocketed. His opportunity for MacKenzie Weegar. Got this in behind the inboards now. Back pass there for Regula. It was picked off by the Flames. It was thrown in the middle of the slot, and Draisaitl is away on a one-on-one. He's going to slow up, buy some time now. It was not a good decision. Probably should have just taken a shot. He would have had a one-on-one. And now Sharangovich off a spin pass. This gets deflected away there from a 2-on-1 odd man that could have been for the Flames. Now Jonathan Huberdeau will throw this one back to Joel Hanley. Hanley now from the left side dot. Opportunity here for Johnny Beecher. Throws it on the boards. I didn't really think to see Huberdeau and Beecher and Lomberg mixing of a change, I'm guessing, here for Jonathan Huberdeau as this goes back to the point off the spin. Will be sent in. Connor Ingram stopped with the stick shot. Here the right side dot. Flames will steal again. Got to wait for everybody to get on side. And the Lamborghini will send this one in. Just scored in the previous game at home against VGK when the Calgary Flames put up a 6-spot, 1-6-3. Kevin Bahl on the back skate. Got to turn on the burners here, partially holding off his man. As that was Matthias Janmark on the fourth line for Chris Nelblack's squad. This will be rolled back down the ice. Connor Zary try to get chased. 1-6 the last 8 games, goals for about 3-9 for the Calgary Flames. So this has been playing very well of late. And Rasmus Andersson will win the race for hybrid icing at 16:56. So I'm going to miss Cooper Hopkins here for about a period. If I would have known that, I probably would have stayed with Dallas and Detroit, who have just tied the game again. All I was hoping for them was to get 1 point in the standings, and they're 49 seconds away from doing so after winning back-to-back games against Washington. So I hope that they hold. As Hanley, here's a slap shot, Sharangovich. This one gets blocked. Flip back down. Hanley. Flip this one back to Bustevich. Stop here for Farabee. Near the left side, down for Bustevich. Back to Joel Farabee, racing across the left wing. Farabee lets it go high. That one missed just above the face mask of Connor Ingram. And now Evan Bouchard off the drop pass. Here's Connor McDavid. And this is right in the chest of Dustin Wolf. As Bouchard has a little bit of a meeting of the mind there with Dustin Wolf. Again, Dustin, you got a couple shutouts in the season, but your save percentage just outside 900. Again, it was a rough start. You've been playing better lately. Logan Cooley, the same thing. As I'm going to also keep my eyes, as mentioned, on this NHL scoreboard here for the Red Wings, just to see if they can hold the final 15 seconds of the third. This will be a D-zone draw here for the Calgary Flames. Connor McDavid going to get set to take it here for the Oilers. Connor Zary, a couple of Connors here. We will do it again near the right side dot. So the Red Wings officially have gotten a point. They were down a couple times in this game with the Dallas Stars. They fought back, scored another goal. Jason Robertson, a 1 assist, -1. Dylan Larkin on the power play after Wyatt Johnson scored his 20th on the power play, 15:57. So I'll keep you abreast of that situation. They're very excited the Red Wings won that one. Connor McDavid off the cross pass. He was looking for Zach Hyman, and this was kicked off. Opportunity out the touch pass. Zary going to leave it for Bahl. I'll go back to Connor here. Left side dot. Backlund will shovel in the corner. As up Matthias Ekholm. Throw this back here from Bouchard. Back pass. Coleman tries to throw it across. He would have shot that in the middle of the slot. That could have been something against Connor Ingram. That was a brutal giveaway for Bouchard, but he didn't have to pay for it. This will go right back up the gut. Opportunity now. He's sent across the inboards here for Jan Kuznetsov. And another pass floating. Edmonton's just going to back off. Kristoff squad will take their change. 15:30 left to go in this first. Again, watching this on Sportsnet, just the Edmonton feed. That's probably the way it's going to be for Calgary on Saturday between these two, as they carry the one feed on Sportsnet for the home team. This eludes Morgan Frost right near the left side red line, and Edmonton content to dump it in. As Vetseli Podkolzin doing a good job bothering MacKenzie Weegar. Leon Draisaitl sent it back into the corner. Roslovic gets hit pretty hard. He's still trying to fight for it, the former Winnipeg Jet. As Morgan Frost leading a 3-on-3. Back to Frost. On his backhand turn up for Huberdeau. A little bit too much there. Frost tries to throw an inside-out shot right at the point as this one gets knocked away. Rustevich. He's got Draisaitl on the right side. Podkolzin does not get it to him, and he loses the puck as this goes back down to Edmonton's defensive zone. Start again now for Ty Emberson. Both squads will take their change. Number 49 for Edmonton's got it. Near the left side dot. Switch ice goes back to Emberson now. Throws it in across the red line. Dustin Wolf throws it back in behind the play as Jan Kuznetsov. Good elude of the hit there. He got the fourth line for Ryan Osgood-Salomberg. A little chip and chase for Klapka. Puts it in off the referee. Chance at the point. Beecher will try to pick it up now from Weegar's pass. Weegar, good stick chop, just to push it ahead of the zone. Got to back up now, though. This will be Matthias Janmark on the fourth line. Off the drop pass. Good save, Wolf with a shot near the left dot. Pick up now for the Flames. As this will be Bahl. He'll get this one back for Klapka. Now Kevin Bahl can walk in. Kevin Bahl will throw a pass across the left side dot that gets picked off. Too many Edmonton bodies. Shots are 4-1 Oilers here to begin this first period. I wouldn't say sleepy start, but a good defensive play that you need to have between these two. Again, they're going to be playing each other right after the Christmas break, Tuesday and then Saturday, as they will switch venues. Here's Connor McDavid off the drop pass. This is a good stick save for Dustin Wolf. He's got to locate the puck here as McDavid's got near the right dot. Here's a slot pass. Bouchard scores! RNH on the rebound. So Evan Bouchard, it was McDavid with the first save and Dustin Wolf. He gets it back to Bouchard. A boost bomb creates a rebound near the right side dot. And RNH gets the first goal of this game. And it looks like the Red Wings have just won in overtime in 34 seconds. Holy cow. I will get some good news today. Just got to try to get the Calgary Flames some good news. So I was just writing down that goal there. It looks like the Red Wings, I'm looking over here. Yes, they have won in overtime. Dylan Larkin ties it at 15:57 from Van Riemsdyk, who had a strong in Lucas Raymond. And then Larkin from Sider and Raymond. Red Wings win 4-3. They get back-to-back wins over the Caps. And then a win here against the Stars as they head into Christmas break. We'll definitely break that down more with Cooper Hopkins when he joins me a little bit later in the second period. But there'll be a lot to get to there that certainly be happy with. As again, McDavid was a save from Wolf to get a rebound. Lisbeth Bushbaum and RNH scores near the right dot. And the Edmonton Oilers open the scoring. 12:43 left in the first.
There are no guarantees in sports. But one thing's for sure, when you get breathe-back, Game takes effect. It continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Some of those felt their asthma symptoms improve in as little as 3 days. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. It can probably your face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away if signs of inflamed blood vessels like rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, round or chloride, tingling or numbness in pregnancy. Tell your doctor if new or worsening skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or ear skin infection. Don't change your stop on the treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent. So all the small fries and the funky chickens, to the dancers, the chancers, and whatever this guy's doing. Those who can't look away, or you just can't. No matter how you game day, Chick-fil-A nuggets are there for the win. Get your 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets and start celebrating today.
Well, here, as we wait for Gene to come back to the Sportsnet panel, let's tell you a story about Connor Ingram, the youngest in his family. So Chris Knobloch was not aware of Connor, but he was aware that his father, Brent Ingram, was a teacher for 31 years, and in grade 7, Chris Knobloch was a student of Connor's father, Brent Ingram. There is grade 7. Oh, Santa was chuckling there a little bit. Chris Knobloch. And now, modern day Chris Knobloch, his teacher said.
Turn back from action here about 12:35 left to go on the first. RNH with the goal assisted by Bouchard and Connor McDavid, as Edmonton has got the first one off of a couple of rebounds there. Bushbaum ended up creating as Bouchard has some trouble with it in his own end. Matthias Ekholm will try to flip this one back down. They've won 9 straight games when scoring first, the Edmonton Oilers, so that'll be a streak that the Flames look to break. We'll have to see, because again, much better home team are the Calgary Flames than road. You could say the same thing, home team, but that's where Edmonton is right now. And they're enjoying the 1-0 lead with the first 8 minutes of the period expired. Leon Draisaitl, his back pass will go right to Frost in the middle of the slot. Blake Coleman gets away from a hit. Probably should have drawn a penalty, as Rasmus Andersson was able to stick drag a little bit, but this would be back picked off by Ty Emberson. Again, 4-3 shootout win, which Cooper and I covered, was the first game when Kadri got the shootout winner, I believe, in round 8. As this would be sent toward the left side dot. Picked up now for the right side of the glass. Emberson still trying to fight with it. Trent Frederick, as this will be collected nicely in the middle of the slot. Here's a chance. And Dustin Wolf able to fight that one off. Wraparound attempt for Jones. And this one was a good sequence there for Dustin Wolf. Makes the save. Blake Coleman try to chop it out of the air, a little hand-eye, but at 11-11, we will get a stoppage. So Max Jones on the previous, again, they were talking about it with Louis DeBrusque, that he had that size and speed there for Jones. Again, he had Isaac Howard that started the year with the Edmonton Oilers, but he's been moved down and alongside just to give himself some more AHL experience. Again, the former Michigan State man, was a product of Tampa, but he wanted to go to Edmonton, and now he's going to sit back where he was down in the minors again. As this is picked up here for Bahl. Stop behind the net there for Zach Hyman. He's doing a great job pressuring the Flames defense and behind the net. As this will get picked off across the red line. Hyman has it now. And RNH almost stuffed it in again, but he hit the side of the post when he tried to make his backhand. That allowed Wolf to recover. And now Rasmus Andersson will have to look as this will go back. That was so close to being a 2-0 lead for RNH. I want to see if that puck actually bobbled. So Hyman sets up the drop, and the rebound is just in too deep on the right side red line. Otherwise, RNH could have made it 2-0. He could have put it into an open net past Dustin Wolf. Another rebound there. There's just a lot of space. Dustin Wolf, to his credit, didn't slide over enough, but you got to be able to corral some of those rebounds. It's not been good control here. They got first shot board 8-2 for Edmonton. Sent back him on the end boards, loose Coronato, and now MacKenzie Weegar keeps it on his skates. Huberdeau, a cheeky little pass as we'll get this toward the right side. Sauced here for Coronato. MacKenzie Weegar's going to have to retreat across the neutral zone. Jan Kuznetsov will dump it in near the left side red line. Must be stopped by Connor Ingram, and that's one of the things I said coming into it. Is you got to get a lot of shots here on Ingram, maybe Pickard as the backup goaltender just to see what happens. But if the Flames aren't getting anything going, maybe Edmonton knows that going in, try to keep the shot totals low. It's not going to make much for the Flames to be able to do anything. As it's picked up now for Draisaitl, here's his pass. That gets knocked down at the point. Ostelek sends it across the bumper here. Another Bouchard bomb as this is another rebound. Lomberg able to stick it away, but this goes back to Bouch. He's looking for a lane. This gets blocked off the skate of Lomberg. And now, I have to retreat a little bit, is Edmonton right to the neutral zone. Bouchard, he'll sit back here as this one gets sent into the zone. And now Johnny Beecher loses the puck. And this will be a good steal by Bahl. Able to cancel out Mangiapane just enough. The Oilers wanted a penalty. They're not going to get one. Got about 9:05 left to go in the first. Again, RNH for the opening goal. That's still where we are. Lomberg has it now on his backhand, throws it in deep, looking for Zary, and looking for a potential rebound before Connor Ingram covered it up. Nothing to be had for Zary there. We'll take a break. 8:58 left in the opening frame.
Over 60 years ago, mutual owners United Kingdom like the records of the natural world are focused. By learning to live in harmony with nature, man himself can play the most vital role in the wild kingdom.
So I know Cooper sent that message across. I don't know if he's able to just listen in now, but I will throw the co-host invite just in case. And then we'll throw the reporter back on once we get going again.
There are no guarantees in sports. But one thing's for sure, when you can breathe better, game days are better. Dupixent continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks.
So as we sit, again, I'll put the reporter back on here, but as we sit 8:58 into a commercial break, shot board is 8-3. Edmonton hits are 7-6. Faceoffs 5-3 for Calgary. RNH could add two. He's got one. It's from Bouchard and McDavid. Again, this game is still close enough, but Calgary's got to get some more shots here on Connor Ingram, who's in the goal crease today.
John, my friend, we're back at it. I can't believe it. It took too long for us to get back on the call the other night, but the Flames, if you're a Flames fan, great outcome tonight. Things a little tougher to come by. You're playing a heck of a team here at the Edmonton Oilers. Not that the biggest Golden Knights were any slouch, but Oilers look to be the better of the two squads so far.
Yeah, the Oilers kind of have the same thought process we had the other day when we talked about it with the Florida Panthers, don't they? Again, as we always mention, and you know the specific division rival, Rel, once we get closer to the month of January, and heck, we're almost at it now, this seemingly is when the Edmonton Oilers play their best hockey of the year.
Yep, and I'm sure you already mentioned this too, John, as we, at least on my feed, get get back underway here. Flames wearing their home reds because the Oilers are in their cream alternates with the blue yolks tonight.
So we'll have to see if that brings them some good luck. Because I mean, they're also going to bring the home reds on Saturday. We'll have to see if they come back in for Christmas. This will be picked up now. Rasmus Andersson thrown out in the middle of the slot like Coleman, and off the tie up there alongside Adam Henrique. We will go across the NHL scoreboard with Cooper Hopkins as well. But I do have another topic that I want to be able to share. I think we're going to have another good discussion as this goes toward the right side end boards. Good save by Wolf. Lays it to Mikael Backlund. Pass across the head for Farabee, and that was the first chance the Flames really had off the rush. Forced Ingram to make a good save.
So John, I'm gonna.
With McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins, so all three guys I mentioned have their best stretches of the season. Big reason why Edmonton has found their running away.
I don't know if Cooper, I lost him for a moment. We'll bring him back in. This will be a face-off near the left side dot. Farabee can't find it. Sharangovich with Kuznetsov will stop this one at the point. Picked up now for Nazem Kadri and Sharangovich. 8 minutes left to go here in the first. John here with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. When I get a chance up on the stoppage, I'll have him repeat what he was just discussing, because I think we lost each other there for a moment. I'm going to get the space as well. Hopefully not. There's Sharangovich. Flip back in behind the inboards now for Nazem Kadri. Trying to pick it up here the left side red line. This will get knocked away on the backhand. Hyman was looking right up the middle of the gut. Farabee and get knocked away. And right in across the Oilers logo. Played enough the backhand. This has been a center ice zone battle since this latest face-off. Shots are 9-4 Edmonton. Now to the right side off the bumper, picked up by McDavid. McDavid off the drop pass. This will go to the point. 97's got it. It'll spin and turn. Now on his forehand, took 2 Flames to dispossess of the puck, but Coronato throws it right to the Oilers behind the net. This is a tie-up. Back in behind Dustin Wolf's cage. It's loose! In front, trying to get lifted. Somehow that did not go. And now Huberdeau able to alleviate the danger and sent this one back down. It was misplayed by Ingram in behind the net. And now Andersson. He's going to do some battle here with Coronato. And this will be thrown back down deep here for Jones. And off the spin and turn. This will go to the right side. Just flip back down the left side red line. Back to Bahl as the reverse Sykes. Bahl step back and content to throw it back to his defensive partner. Put this one right up the gut. Here's Johnny Beecher on the 4th line. Klapka throws it out in front, and this will be held by Ingram as we get a little bit of Merry Christmas as Klapka throws some fists and some pushing and shoving.
It's a very specific brand of Merry Christmas from Adam Klapka that he's sharing with his opponents.
So, Cooper, I'm hoping that everything is good. I got your comment there, but what were you alluding to before the first face-off break?
John, are you not catching my audio here? Just checking.
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, that was, that may have been the space. You know me, like we always joke, I'm always good for at least one technical difficulty. So here I am. I was just saying that on the Sportsnet replay there, we were seeing Wolf, who was so agile in net, making that right pad save. I love that you said it was a Merry Christmas greeting from Klapka. It's a very specific brand of Merry Christmas from him when you got big Adam Klapka in your face.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I do want to ask you a couple other questions about the Flames tandem as well. We can talk about Edmonton's tandem once we get another stoppage inside the final 5 minutes. And imagine we'll get another TVTO. Kadri in the left side red line, as this is a left to right here for the Oilers. Again, as Cooper said, in a cream color. I'm not really sure I care for those jerseys all too much, although I know it's Edmonton, but still. As this is sent back in behind the inboards. Now MacKenzie Weegar able to somehow get around Jack Roslovic, but this goes back to Bouchard. Holds it at the point. As this will be Draisaitl off the spin. His pass a little bit too hard there from Matthias Ekholm. We'll send this back in on the inboards. Now, Nazem Kadri leads the Flames with 31 points. I said in the open, Connor McDavid leads the NHL with 62, double the amount of points the other way. As Paul Stastny will take this one from left to right off the slap pass. Picked it off the rush. Good backhand stop here. Johnny Beecher trying to force a steal. And now the Flames will get it. Flip this one cross ice. A jump out of the air. It was Klapka to put a big paw out there. And what the heck's going on with Mangiapane and Kevin Bahl? As this is picked up and off the tie-up, Kevin Bahl said, hey, wait a minute. You got the stick stuck in there. Now Mangiapane goes after him again. But we'll just throw this one back down the ice. There were some good camera shots there for Sportsnet. Shots are 10-4. Now they're eyeing Mangiapane, as this is a good change for Chris Knoblauch squad. A little abbreviated TO behind the net and take a breath, as this will be picked off. Joel Hanley now. On the left side red line, throw it in. Put back in behind the end boards now for Bouchard, as this will be on the back skate for Rasmus Andersson. It's a 3-on-2 developing for the Oilers. Hyman is the trailer, but this never gets to him. Backlund able to get the steal. 1-on-1. Zary tried to jump the puck over Bouchard's skate blades. As Zary now will try to recollect here with Backlund, going to get some help near the right side point. Still very contested here. Backlund smartly throws it to his defensive pair. This goes back to the captaincy. Weegar, Clapper scores! Great play for Calgary with patience, and we're tied.
1-1 with 4:02 to go in the first, John. Multiple Oilers looking up the big replay board to see how that went down. And I love that Weegar had the confidence to take the shot there. We see the play developing in the offensive zone, and from dead center, that's a deflection off the chest of, I'm trying to get a number here, John. You might be able to help me here with the Oilers. That looks like, that's Nurse, in fact.
Yeah.
Those numbers have me tripped up. I'm not used to that font, but that's the good old number 25, Darnell Nurse. He inadvertently redirects that slap shot right into the right side of an open net, and we have a tied hockey game.
That's a little bit unlucky. I know Darnell Nurse sometimes gets picked on a lot by all across the NHL, but there's a good screen out front unintentionally of Ingram. Bounces off of Connor Zary. Nobody's more excited than him because he just never gave up on the play. It's now 1-1, as this will be sent back here for Coronato. Hanley quickly throws it in deep, and now Flames got something to feel really good about here as this game is tied. Again, the shot board 10-5. Edmonton had a good first about 6 minutes to start. RNH could have scored twice, and his second one goes off the post as Dustin Wolf was able to cover just enough ground. This will be flipped back now in the Flames defensive zone. Huberdeau will lurk, but he'll just take a change. This will go back to the Chris Knoblauch squad. 1-1 is our score here. Again, these two teams are going to meet again on Saturday in the return for Christmas break, but that one will be at the Settle Dome as this home-and-home series just getting going. And Dustin Wolf able to make the save right off the trailer, rush right up the net. I believe it was Jones.
Yeah, partial breakaway, burst of speed there coming to Wolf's right. He positions himself well. Not a ton on the shot, but still a dangerous moment. I did your chance for sure. That was denied by Wolfie. So it remains 1-1. As you predicted, of course, Mr. Odd, after all these games you covered, you had the right idea. It's a TV timeout. So here we are. And I will fill in the answer to your question from several minutes ago. Apologies about the technical difficulty.
No problem.
I was just curious. If you would be so kind as to give me a hint, just for the fun of it, about what that topic might be that we're going to cover. But I think you already did. I think it's probably Flames related. But I'm happy to jump into anything here during our break.
Oh, I have a Flames thing that we can talk about in the first, but the second one that I want to talk about is actually the EHL, the East Coast Hockey League. They're talking about potentially going on strike December 26th. We're going to go into some of the things that the players want demands of. And I think it might be an interesting conversation to be had because, as you said, for me, covering the Waterford Sharks, yes, it's just a Class A semi-pro league, nothing like ECHL or AHL. But still, I think it'll be a good conversation for us to have as far as what the players need to be able to actually do their jobs.
Yeah, I agree with you. Feel huge, right? We can think, oh my gosh, there's so many leagues and so many players and so different. And really, and apologies, John, if I'm having difficulty with the audio.
We will get Cooper back. It is MacKenzie Weegar has the goal. Again, goals the last 15 games. We'll just put this back in. Goals the last 15 games, 10-4-1 record. Farabee, Backlund, Frost, Coronato, Sharangovich, Kadri, Andersson, Zuri, Coleman, Huberdeau. Kuznetsov, Bahl all over the place here. Again, I'll get Cooper Hopkins back in. Whenever we get everything all settled here, no problems. Just happy to have him aboard. Trying to get the Calgary Flames another victory here just before Christmas is Coleman off the flip pass. He was looking for Backlund. This will actually go back to Blake. He shoots it right on hand. It bounces in front of Connor Ingram off his glove. And that was a little inconspicuous because all Backlund was trying to do was find Coleman. Coleman gets in his second opportunity, and then all of a sudden there's traffic in front of the net. And guess what? There might be a Flames power play here with 2:50 left to go on the first.
You were right, John, and I apologize. I don't mean to put you on your heels with my technical difficulties over here. Unbeknownst to me, I had a little Wi-Fi issue, and Blake Coleman had a little issue staying on his feet, but that wasn't his fault. But Colton pulls him down as he makes the shot, so it's going to be holding at 17-10. Big opportunity for Calgary here.
So as we mentioned, we didn't get a chance to talk about it on Saturday between the Flames power play that's set now at 31st. But again, they were doing much better than the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are dead last. They moved it actually to 30th. This is good save for Connor Ingram. Had to jump like a frog toward the right side post. And now this is an opportunity now for Rasmus Andersson. Back at the point now. Rasmus near the right side dot. First power play of the game here. This will be at the right side point. Coronato, Rasmus Andersson. Here's Matthew. His shot gets blocked. Now Kadri picks it up. This will go to Rasmus. No, he can't hold it in. Go back toward the left side blue line for Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau right out in front. Just missed the net. Coronato looking for that top side. And now an opportunity here. Got to be careful on the back rush. Trying to hook a little bit and they get another penalty. And I think Rasmus Andersson had to do it, but this is still with the Oilers. RNH shot gets denied, and that power play goes awry.
Yeah, John, McDavid talking to one of the referees there is not pleased with Rasmus Andersson's play on that partial break on the shorthanded attempt for the Oilers. Listen, you can tell me what you think, but the Flames assistant captain, number 4, goes flash across the hands. I think that's a penalty you have to take there. Otherwise, it is a clean breakaway look at Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. Again, you don't want to have to do that, but I mean, what are you going to do? It's 97 there, and you know he's going to score if he gets a clean look, Cooper.
Yeah, I don't blame McDavid for having a couple extra words as well, because as we get a second look at it, Rasmus, he looked like he's ready for baseball season, if you know what I mean. He took a swing.
He sure did.
The wrists and then back to the hands of the best player in the world. So it's going to be 4-on-4 for just under a minute, and then the Edmonton Oilers will have a chance with the extra man to get a little revenge for that one.
Yeah, again, so it'll be 1-for-1 essentially on these power plays here. It's hopefully what Calgary doesn't give up. First opportunities, this abbreviated now for 57 seconds, but as Cooper said before, it switches over. So 4-on-4, you have to think it's an advantage for one team and one team only, but I don't want to speak that into existence. As MacKenzie Weegar now slow up toward that blue line, lead for Backlund. Backlund on his backhand, Rick's forehand, walks and shoots. Oh, it went off the outside of the post and stayed out.
Oh my goodness, John! I thought that was actually in. I thought that was wired to the rear bar, holding up the net behind the back or at the back of the cage. But you're right; it rings off the post. Ingram has to spin around. That thing's land in the blue paint. No one close enough for the Flames to tap it in. But my goodness, just about a half inch from being 2-1 Calgary.
That would have been Backlund's 5th goal in the last 3 games, Cooper, and that one hit the right side of the post and bounced out. It hit Ingram off the backside, who was able to then glove it in desperation.
Truly, and I was saying about a half inch, and that is not hyperbole. That thing is about a half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch closer to the inside of that post. It rings in and likely crosses the line, but we're still here, 1-1.
1:10 left to go in this eventful first. Draisaitl off the back pass. Here's McDavid. Another good save for Wolf on Connor. That's the second time of this period.
David frustrated after drawing the penalty and then probably thought he should have scored. I mean, I got to assume that 97 believes every time he releases a shot, he thinks he's going to score. That's what makes it great. But you know what? Dustin Wolf, he's up to the task. And again, just watching that lateral movement, one of Wolf's greatest strengths, so quick side to side.
106 left. You got 4-on-4 for 16 seconds before it'll be abbreviated for Edmonton. It'll be a fresh sheet of ice as well. And this will be cleared up now for Coleman on the back pass to RNH. Chance now on the left side dotted. It's Draisaitl gets away from a hit. Dangerous, good save, Dustin Wolf. And Bahl's going to help him out.
Yeah, Bahl's right there to help clean up the mess. And Wolf has really looked strong and has been called into action frequently here, John. It's really shift in and shift out there. Sportsnet is pulling no punches if we get a direct comparison of power play this season. Flames 30th in the league, as John mentioned. Your top power play converter in the league, the Edmonton Oilers, first at 1/3. So they're likely to score here. Flames got to do some work.
Yeah, it's like a Gulfstream jet against a Kia Fit, as this is centered around the inboards. But again, Calgary penalty kill and everything else 5-on-5 has been good, but really no comparison between Edmonton and the power play, as it's always been for years with that unit. Bouchard will flip this one back around the inboards. McDavid is looking good now. 30 seconds left to go on the power play, about 18 seconds in the period. Backdoor, what a pass! It's Draisaitl, and it's put in the open net. No chance.
No chance. And that's why they're the best in the league. They made that look so easy. Joel Farabee, a shot at him, skating back to his bench, just a simple shake of the head. That's really all that I can offer from where I sit as well, John. Obviously, leaning toward the flame side of things, that's a tough one to swallow, but you see just how impressive, how lethal, and how quick the Edmonton Oilers are. And it all starts with David. He's drawing attention. You see him coming from the half boards to that far circle, and then as the defenders collapse, guess who's left open? One of the top, I'd say 3, 4, 5 players in the world, just the number 29. We can't forget about him. Oh wait, we did. 2-1.
Yeah, and they're going to say for Draisaitl, I know on the Sportsnet feed, because they're carrying the Edmonton home feed for this one for the home teams as they switch, that he hasn't scored in several games. Well, then there you go. It only took all about 20 seconds in that power play. Chance at the net again. This will be sent in front of the players, and we will get some pushing and shoving. Rasmus, Andersson, and Bouchard, and Janmark, excuse me. Now, everybody wants a piece of Rasmus, probably with that hook on Connor McDavid.
Oh, absolutely. I think Rasmus is going to receive plenty of attention for the remainder of the evening. Not that he wouldn't anyway, but he certainly drew a spotlight to himself after the penalty against McDavid on what would have been a clear scoring chance. But McDavid got his pound of flesh. He got a little piece of his revenge in getting the secondary assist on the Draisaitl power play goal, John. So that's what leads us to this 2-1 scoreline. It's a 1-goal advantage for the home Edmonton Oilers and those alternates. I'm with you. This isn't just sour grapes. I would say even if the Flames were losing or if we were no score, not sure I'm feeling great about these uniforms. I understand you're trying to sell a third jersey in the team shop, but it's a little reminiscent of the Calgary script alternate jersey from about 7 or 8 years ago, which I was always a little bit neutral about. I'm not sure this is the Oilers' best look, but they're looking good here at the first intermission, 2-1.
If you want to just say this as a quick aside, you want to go third jerseys, go the Dallas Stars jerseys with the black when you had Madonna and Brett Hull. That's a A+.
Oh, no question about it. That's back to the glory days for sure for the Stars. I don't hate. I mean, it's of course our generation too, my friend. But I always love to see a little nod to those years, which feels like it was just yesterday. But oh my goodness, that was 25 plus years ago. So cool to see those Stars jerseys. I agree.
Yeah, everything on my beard and everything else getting a little gray as it's a 2-1 lead for Edmonton. Again, you got RNH from Bouchard and McDavid, and then Draisaitl on the power play, his 18th for Hyman and Connor McDavid as well. So already 2 assists for him. MacKenzie Weegar answers that. It's a 2-1 game. Backlund gets the assist. Backlund's been very good lately. We'll give you these team stats across the board before we switch gears. 15-8 are the shots on goal for Edmonton. Hits 11-7 for Calgary. Face-offs 12-7. Power plays 0-for-1 for Calgary. 1-for-1. Again, you just saw that for Draisaitl. Block shots. The one thing Edmonton, as it gets closer to January, 10-3 lead there. So I think Edmonton is doing the right things to try to push themselves up in the Pacific Division race, as they sit third tonight.
Yeah, and John, I want to give you an opportunity here because just as you adopted the Calgary Flames, I've adopted the Detroit Red Wings, and we just brought up those Dallas Stars who were in Detroit tonight and ended up losing in overtime. I don't want to put you on the spot, but just as a fan, did you get a chance to see any of that game or see any of that play out? Because I always like it when the Red Wings get their W.
I saw the first period. I saw a little bit of the third before we got set for this one. The goal that I saw was when the Dallas Stars also took the lead. Wyatt Johnston scored again on the power play. Cooper, doesn't he have like 15 now on the power play alone? Again, it was 3-2.
He's a specialist for sure. He's crushing it with the man advantage.
Yeah, he was killing it. Again, Van Riemsdyk went in the box, and then Dylan Larkin, I didn't see the last two, scores in the power play, and then wins it 34 seconds in OT. The Red Wings have won a back-to-back, a Saturday and Sunday against the Washington Capitals, and now closing the Christmas break with another 2 points against the Dallas Stars. I am stoked.
Yeah, I can't say that I blame you. I'm excited as well, and lots to I know we're in a busy time here, holiday time, Christmas just now, a couple of days away. But there's still a lot of exciting stuff happening in the NHL, and I mean, also selfishly, I know we can talk about any number of things. I don't want to step on this intermission and any of your topics that you might have queued up, but also look into the international play and the Olympics, and it's an exciting time, John. That's all I have to say. Good stuff.
Yeah, the World Junior is going to be getting going on Friday. I'm hopeful to try to get at least one of those openers. I got to spend some time with Warren's son, the family, for Christmas. We spend time with my own family tomorrow. But I do want to mention this. Again, Cooper and I hit it briefly as far as Rasmus Andersson possibly to Toronto. That is what Elliot Friedman was reporting. But he also reported this basically on the 32 Thoughts as well. The Dallas Stars might be interested in the package deal because Blake Coleman is from the area and they have the prospects and the package there to be $9.6 million in and out. Maybe Coleman and Rasmus Andersson to the Dallas Stars in terms of a package deal possibly.
Now, I will admit that is the first I'm hearing about the potential of a package deal. Even as it comes out of your mouth and into my ears, John, as part of me wants to fight against it. Part of me wants this Flames team to try to stick it out. They've been having more success of late. We've sort of course, watched that, a piece of that when they took down by a score of 6-3 the Vegas Golden Knights in their previous game. But as you say it had, you know what? I hate to say it actually makes a lot of sense. I think that Coleman and Andersson together immediately strengthens almost any team in the league. Coleman could slot in, I think, even up to a second line if you were to need it, more likely a third liner. The expertise and the experience that he brings as a Stanley Cup winner, having played both in the East and the West, I mean, any number of factors just for Coleman alone. But Andersson now, with the Hughes deal done, really is the top defender out there who has both the defenseman prowess and the offensive skills. Is he fully elite as a defender? He's probably close. I don't know if I would list him as one of the true elite defenders in the NHL, but no question, John, he could jump onto a first pairing if you need to, second pairing if you need him to. So the Dallas Stars, who have been trying to get over that final hump, just get themselves past the barriers that they found themselves up against the last several seasons. That might be what gets the job done. That will speak volumes. It will be the telltale sign for the Flames as to what Craig Conroy and the rest of the management think about the future, at least the next several, I'd say 2 to 3 seasons, whether it's rebuild time or we're going to stick this thing out.
I'm just going to say this honestly out loud because we're all thinking it anyway. So if you're Jim Nill or Glenn Golickson of the Dallas Stars, your first 3 defensive pairings would sound like this. You have Miro Heiskanen, you have Esa Lindell, you have Rasmus Andersson, and Thomas Harley. I mean, that's your top 4. That would be outrageous.
Yeah, listen, once again, as you say it out loud, I'm pretty neutral when it comes to the Dallas Stars. I'm not a fan. I don't often find myself rooting for them, but rooting for those players, oh yes, I can get behind that. That is a dangerous grouping of 4 top defenders in the professional ranks. It's just just you listing that out, John.
Right.
It almost makes too much sense, and I'm a Flames fan. That's how good it is.
Yeah, that's why when you brought that up there, I thought we would just throw that out there quickly. Again, the second intermission is we'll talk about the EHL, but I know we mentioned some Leafs last time on Saturday. They did get the win today. They're now 16, 15, and 5, but they did fire assistant coach Mark Savard. Again, they had lost 5 of the last 6 before winning against the Penguins today. Nylander hadn't scored 11 games. He did get 4 points today. Matthews only has 14 goals on the year. Tavares has 2 goals in the last 14 games. They get something today as well. But is that going to be enough for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Is Craig Berube next? Is a trade next? Just honest thoughts from you, Cooper. It doesn't have to go too in-depth if you don't want to. What do you think?
Well, one of the headlines that I saw earlier, just NHL headlines in general, basically it was questioning whether or not Brad Treliving, whether his job was potentially on the chopping block. And the answer to that, at least publicly at the moment, is no. But here's my concern is that a team that just now today, the Maple Leafs, that got above the 500 mark, that's not going to calm the media whatsoever. A single win. This is going to have to be either the beginning of a massive shift in the trajectory of their season, or I think, if you cannot sustain a legitimate winning streak here as you get through the remainder of 2025 into the new year, then the same narratives that we've already been discussing are going to come right back. And credit to Mark Savard, former Flame Mark Savard, at one point in his career, and Mark Savard, who has had some success in different coaching roles in the league. I don't think that releasing him is going to calm any nerves either. Mm-hmm. So do we have a real answer here, John? Not necessarily. So I won't scramble for one. But basically, the only thing that's going to solve the rumblings in Toronto are wins. So you can make any coaching changes, any management changes you want, make any statements publicly that you want. If this person's safe, that person's safe. It's got to come down to wins. And if this team remains at, or dare I even say, gasp below 500, you can expect major changes to come.
Yeah, you would have to think so. It's too early for me to talk with you, and we're not saying this about draft positioning and everything else, but considering this team usually is at the top of the Atlantic and wins the division, this is not what they expected. And by the way, when they come back from break, they got to play the Red Wings, who already won the first 2 games against them in the season series. That will not be easy for the Leafs. To add to our Kraken conversation on Saturday, Brandon Montour is out a month as he has surgery on his hand. And for Mason Marchment, I guess he likes playing for his new team. He's got 3 goals in 2 games with the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, and there's a lot there, especially with the Marchment news. Honestly, as a Seattle native, I happen to be here in Seattle for the holidays right now. Mm-hmm. There's almost a Mariners feel to this. I think Mariners fans feel a lot of times when players are traded or released from the Mariners between seasons, they'll find new teams and just immediately become what feels like immensely successful, right? They'll compare statistics between the time when a player plays versus the Mariners, and then compare them with their new team, and it just feels like night and day, and the cloud is always over the Puget Sound region. And so it's tough. Well, and that's true literally.
Yes, it is.
When it's doubly so figuratively. And so that becomes the case here, I think, at least initially with Marchment. I think Kraken fans who've already been enduring an unexpectedly difficult season, I don't think they expected to come out and be the favorites to win the Stanley Cup by any stretch. But it certainly has been bumpier than smooth. And with Marchment having such success immediately, it's just a familiar refrain, I think, for Seattle sports fans and the Kraken faithful. And with Montour, such an incredible acquisition to know that he's going to be out for an extended period. It just makes the future look a little less bright. And, there's an opportunity tonight, though, right? You can have that news about Marchment. You can understand that one of your top, if not your single most skilled defenseman is going to be out. You got a chance against the Kings. The Kings are having a decent year, but they're also not that far ahead of you in the standings. A win tonight for the Kraken actually would matter. I think it's would tighten the belt around where the Kings sit and give the Kraken a little bit of a boost. But we will see. So I'm going to keep my eye on that game as we get into it, which will take place down in Los Angeles.
Yep, and as you said, as that gets underway in about 15 minutes, at Crypto, it's only 4-7-4 for the Kings on home ice. So, I mean, that's got to get much better if they want to do anything in any serious regard as well.
Yeah, you got to see. Look at that. Just this is what John Ott does. I ramble on, and then John, he really hammers it home. This is why it's a perfect team. I get to just prattle, and then John brings the good stuff. So, listeners, you're in good hands with Mr. John Ott.
So I'm looking at, as far as the intermission timeline, it's about 6 minutes. So again, I'll give you one last point for this. We'll go across the scoreboard. We'll save the ECHL stuff for the second, because I really want to have a good conversation with Cooper about that. But as it is, I just got to give our congratulations. I know Cooper is with me on this as well. And I know it used to be an arch rival for me, really, between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Red Wings. But Sidney Crosby passes the great Super Mario in points and is now the franchise leader for the Penguins. 1,724 points in 1,387 games as they got a win over the Canadiens Sunday in a shootout victory. So congratulations to Sid the Kid. That's still the name I'm going to use because he's a beast.
Oh, yeah. He is everything you could ever hope for as a hockey player, as a hockey fan, as a coach, as a teammate. And you got to love that. And I know he means it. I know it's not just media training. I know it's not just because he's polished after all these years. I think that his quote when he was, of course, obviously asked about his massive achievement with the franchise, I think he said it still feels like Lemieux was number one to me. And I just love that. That's a true hockey player's response and somebody who has real reverence for those who came before him and honors the players who paved the way, not just with the Penguins, but beyond. But certainly number 66 getting up his credits from 87, who's going to go down as one of the top, I would argue, 3 to 5 players who've ever put on skates.
Absolutely. I know this is going to be a subjective question, Cooper, but I do want to get your response on it because it's just my honest thoughts. We talked about the potential back-to-back that the Florida Panthers and Carolina Hurricanes would have, especially since Seth Jarvis, the Evan Rodriguez, the tripping, looked like it really hurt Jarvis. He's going to be out at least for over a month. When at last I looked, the Carolina Hurricanes in this rematch at PNC were up 2-0. Goals from Eric Robertson and Andrei Svechnikov. But the Cats, a 5 spot, Nico Mikkola, Luke Cunnin, Anton Lundell, Sam Bennett, Seth Jones. I look across all over. Brad Marchand getting into it with Keandre Miller. Keandre losing his cool a little bit. A 5 spot. Florida comes back, wins again. Simply put, Cooper, are the Cats in the Hurricanes' head?
You know, John, there's a couple of different ways I think to go with this, but I'm gonna really let my thoughts on the Panthers lead the way here. Mm-hmm. I think that this is a nice, and we're not early season anymore, but this is a nice indicator to me that the Panthers, when they face teams that they are familiar facing in high pressure situations, right, when the games matter most, they all matter. You get points for your regular season wins, your losses give you nothing. I get it. But when you're facing off against, when the Panthers are facing off against teams that are their direct rivals, not just in the fan sense, but in the sense of who might topple us from our throne, this is showing me that the Panthers turn that extra notch on the dial. And I know there was going to be pushback on the Jarvis moment that we talked about during our last broadcast, and tonight, this was the moment for the Hurricanes, I think, to really start to drive a knife in, and the Panthers twisted it right around and plunged it into their hearts this evening with a very convincing 5-2 victory.
Just want to say this openly again. Remember Brad Marchand's 37 years old, correct? He's got 20 goals and 20 assists already.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, how long? The list is getting longer, John, of players that, on one hand, we're thinking, oh, let's get ready for their retirement ceremony. On the other hand, they're playing like they're 27 years old. And, you know, the top all-star coming out of their division. It's incredible what these players, we just talked about. Sid, listen, Connor's no rookie by any stretch. Connor's Connor. Leon's Leon. But Marchand, to be doing what he's doing, to do what he did, win the Stanley Cup with the Panthers, and continue to carry that play. No letdown. No letdown. You get the crown back, you get a new ring, and to continue it, that is what is impressive to me. Mental focus is impressive.
Yeah, it is. He certainly knows who he is. Again, you play the game between the lines, and that's me being kind. But also the thing is, most players, that would kind of piss you off. But for when you think about Brad Marchand, he can still do that. But he also has unbelievable skill. He just knows where to be on the ice. And then also, as you mentioned, winning the Stanley Cup is one thing. But you had all the injuries coming into the year that started. And you still have Barkov and Kachuk out. And he's got 20 goals. When it really is at the most important time to get the Florida Panthers back into the race and then get them back together around the Olympic break when they're all going to be healthy and then look like the Cats again.
That's a great point. Yeah, see, there's John Ott again. He's bringing it tonight, folks. That is talking about the injuries and Marchand knowing that he's going to need to elevate in order to keep his team in it. And they have not been without their struggles. But man, oh man, what he has done alone. And we saw it in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're seeing it here in the regular season. The fact that he can sustain it, and it's one thing. You reach a certain age, and your mind tells you, "Okay, I know what to do. I have the experience. Here's what I need to do to execute." It's another thing for the body to respond and execute at a top level, game in and game out, especially in a season where we're seeing a compressed schedule because of the international play. You got to do it on back-to-backs, less rest, and you're exactly right, John. It's even more impressive. And the Panthers, I think they're going to go, at least for the time being, they're going to go as Marchand goes.
We're going to get set here for the second period. Do you want to lead things off?
Well, listen, John, this is part of I apologize, my technical difficulty cut off what I was describing earlier when I first signed on. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to stick on the full broadcast with you, so let's take it. Why don't you go ahead and take it through the play-by-play? I'll stick with color, and then when we get to the next media timeout, let's cover that potential strike that we were talking about, so we can get that topic in.
Okay, I appreciate it. So, being an opportunity here, right at center ice, it's a 2-1 game. Edmonton Oilers just scored the leading goal in the power play for Leon Draisaitl as we switch ends, and Blake Coleman. And off the tie-up now, you got Stastny with him on the right side as this will be recollected toward the right side red line and switch the side of the ice here. So 15-7 on the shot board as will be picked up there for a moment by Coleman and then picked off. Here's a race here for Stastny, try to walk in, shoot. It's loose in front. And the Flames now able to get this one back out with Blake Coleman, left side red line. Coleman will go ahead and try to watch this puck get sent in. Already a full sail shift there for Stastny. Got a shot already back in his own end as it's picked up now by the Flames defense. Again, they got the sea of red jerseys, as Cooper said, on the road between the cream color here for Edmonton. Huberdeau off the drop, the rocket. This one blocked expertly. That hurt Mangiapane, the former Flame, as this one gets sent in now. Draisaitl, he tried to chip it over the shoulder of Dustin Wolf. And recollected now here for Coronato for a moment off the spin and turn. And we will get another whistle at 18:52. Might be in a penalty as well. Looks like Coronato.
You want to start things here, John. And, it's going to be Coronato taking a seat here. So we get the shot of Coronato sitting down in the penalty box and a shot of Mangiapane sitting down on his bench. The replay here on the Sportsnet side looks like he took a puck off of the left shin. So we'll keep an eye on number 88. And I'm so used to saying number 88 in red, John, but no, it's blue and orange. It still trips me up that Mangiapane's with the Oilers these days.
Yeah, it was interesting when we covered the opener, when the Edmonton Oilers blew a 3-0 lead. Mangiapane looked really good in that game, but his numbers not been very good as a member of the Oilers. That's surprising considering the personnel as RNH for McDavid, because Mangiapane was a 30-goal scorer at one time. As it's picked up now for Bouchard. RNH can walk in. This is fought off by Wolf, but again, it only took about 25 seconds the last time out. 1-for-1, 3 shots. As McDavid, RNH near the left dot, back to Bouch at the point. This goes to RNH again. McDavid, here's a touch pass, and this will go high off RNH's shot. Bouchard recollect. Has this one on the right side blue line, crisscross with Leon. He's not in his usual spot, but he's getting toward the slot now. Bouchard patient near the left side dot. Bouchard on his forehand. As he waits, keeps his head up for Draisaitl. There's a back pass off the spin. Loose in front, and then Draisaitl dink and dunk again. My goodness.
Too good. Simple simple stuff, John. It's not extravagant. It's not overcomplicated. It is just simple positioning, crisp passing, and trusting your teammates. We're going to get the live replay here. So looks like we got the partial screen in front of the ball near Wolf, but it's really just Draisaitl coming in from on the blue line, John. You can see and control. He's then on the near circle, and after backhand, little spinorama backhand pass to McDavid, it's a give and go that goes right through the skates or past the stick of ball, and Draisaitl was too good to not finish from about 6 feet out. So nothing Wolf could do there. Second goal for Draisaitl, 3-1 Edmonton, starting to just inch away here from the Flames. They're going to need to score, I would say, in the next 5 to 6 minutes.
Well, that's like a Jackson Smith and Jimba like swim move there for Draisaitl off that pass. You said give and go, and then there it is, 3-1. A couple power play tallies makes it that score line as it's icing against Edmonton.
Yeah, John, and we saw the stat, as we always say, credit to the Sportsnet team for showing us to the viewing audience and to us as well. Prior to that goal, again, prior to that Draisaitl goal, his second power play tally of the night, the Oilers in their last 5 games were 50%, 8 of 19 on man advantage. So their percentage continues to climb. They strengthen their position as the #1 power play unit in the NHL.
I mean, you could say the obvious between you and I, and it's like, don't take penalties if you're Calgary, but you got a lot of these teams that have all this kind of talent and speed. It's pretty much impossible to stay with them one-on-one. And even when you have players in behind you, you're still going to be able to take penalties because they have too much speed. So it really is an impossible task. As the shot board is 18-7, Edmonton looking good here. And again, that 4-1 broadcast record for Calgary, that's looking in danger. But to be fair, we've been playing against nothing but top-notch opponents every time we do these calls. This will be recollected now for Farabee off the touch. Flames on a 3-on-3 off the rush. As this goes in the catching glove of Connor Ingram.
Hey, you know what? I actually like that play there. You got the Flames coming through the neutral zone 3 wide here as we get a quick look at Oilers with most goals all time for the franchise. Passing Glenn Andersson, Leon Draisaitl now behind Yari Curry, who's he's got a way to go. Draisaitl does to catch Curry at 474, and certainly Wayne Gretzky, of course, with 583. And we see a shot, John, of all those numbers hanging in the rafters. You got to figure a couple of these gentlemen on this current roster will have those numbers hanging up in the rafters at some point in the not too soon, but in the future. You can believe they'll be up there.
You think if Edmonton had their way about it, even if they get a Stanley Cup or not, you would kind of cement that in between Gretzky's number and put those two between?
I would think so. I mean, listen, at this point, you know, we all know what's going to happen.
Right.
He could retire right now. He's getting a statue and the number retirement ceremony probably about a week later. And I think that Draisaitl's not far off. I think what they've been to this team for the time that they've been with this team, you know, it's the way we're starting to, not even starting to, John, let's not kid ourselves. It's the way we think about McKinnon and McCarr, right, for the Avalanche. These pairings, these pairs of players, to have 2 of players of that caliber on your roster at once, just out of this world.
And I'll say this again because this just popped up on the Sportsnet feed as Weegar's shot gets fought out by Ingram. That was the 70th multi-goal game for Draisaitl. Are you kidding me?
My goodness. What else can you say? It's just no wonder they showed the shot of the numbers hanging in the rafters. That's where it's going to go. As soon as he's done, that's where it's going.
19th of the season and 159 on the power play for McDavid and Bouchard. McDavid's got 3 assists already, and that is looking a little bit too hurtful in my eyes because I saw when they crushed the Red Wings about last week and a half, McDavid had 4 apples, and he's got another chance to probably do that again tonight. Weegar as the Flames go outside with Coronato.
Yeah, I can see that offside coming from a mile away, and Coronato, unfortunately, he took that goal in the second of the evening, both on the power play. It's always a gut check moment when you have a fresh sheet of ice, as John likes to say, and you have a full clock that's going to count down to zeros, and you're only about a minute and 20 seconds in. It's a hooking penalty. It really didn't need to be taken. Flames just needed first, I think, kind of get their mind right here, and this is the classic stuff we talk about often with the Flames. You can say it for any team, John. Try to establish yourself in the offensive zone. I love what Lomberg did. He's out there again. in his previous shift. Just get the puck to the goaltender, make him freeze that puck, get yourself an offensive zone draw, build up from the basics.
My question, does anybody have more fun than number 70, Ryan Lomberg? He's always got a smile on his face. Pretty infectious, I would imagine.
100%, I agree.
He played for Stasny. And off the tie up here, Flames try to get this one out, at least into center ice. Be off the back pass. Again, Oilers, 18 shots, 3 goals, couple power play ones to tell you about. That's kind of why they're in the driver's seat here. But the Flames do get something on Connor Ingram, just like I used to say about Stuart Skinner, as this gets deflected out of play. I think they'll have a chance, but they got to get a little more busy here. They still got time, but it's got to start soon.
Yeah, 3-1 Edmonton, and the shot board tells the tale as well. The Oilers doubling up Calgary 18-9 in that department. So only about 4 minutes gone here in the second. The Flames don't have a lot to speak of in this second stanza. Flames would love to just inch back toward this thing by maintaining some possession. Nothing flashy as they take the neutral zone draw and win it with Coleman dumping it down low. Let's see if they can get something going here.
He gets a bump on RNH. Connor Zary back out there on that third line as this will be recollected from the left side point. Shane Govich now send this one back around. Connor Zary lurking, diving play just to try to break it out toward the right side. Down to the Flames steal. Coleman makes a couple extra efforts there. Backlund and a hit away from the play as we are still live. Picked up right up the gut in the backhand. Oh, good save. Ingram, it's loose in front. And the Flames almost came that close to make it 3-2. Rush the other way from McDavid. He drops it down, and then his pass is picked off. And we get some more away from the play. What happened?
I did see a hand go up to the left side of the screen, John. I think we're going to get a penalty here. I'm frankly not sure who it's on. Kevin Bahl is getting back to the Flames bench without a stick, and there is a stick snapped in half on the ice in the Flames defensive zone. But as we get shots of Nurse here, it looks like Bahl may have committed a penalty, but I see another power play. 2 more minutes for the Oilers coming up, and Rasmus Andersson skating over to the referees looking for an explanation. So let's see if we can get some more details as well.
So all I got is the same thing that Cooper mentioned with that broken stick. Again, there was a breakaway opportunity, essentially a one-on-one on a backhand stop. Right now at 4:45, ESPN says Ryan Nugent-Hopkins minor, but we'll see if that is changed. Now it says 4-on-4. They're going to take Connor Zary as well.
Yeah, John, I see that. Yeah, it's going to be 4-on-4, RNH, and Zary going. So penalties starting to pile up here. John, I will be back in just a second. Just have to step away from the broadcast momentarily. We'll jump back on just a moment.
No problem. So we're getting set here for this 4-on-4, and as Cooper mentioned, it's been a little bit all over the place. And as I mentioned before, who favors 4-on-4, you had to think it was going to be Edmonton, and then you almost had a goal-scoring opportunity for Mikael Backlund. But it's going to have to start now. Connor Ingram, 8 of 9, and Dustin Wolf, 15 of 18. But those power plays, that's got to stop on the other end with the more open end of the ice. Otherwise, you're going to be in bad standing here for the Flames. So Nazem Kadri, we got Draisaitl already on hat-trick watch. This is a face-off win that bounced up in the air to Ekholm. And now, what's it go between the legs does Connor McDavid. And the Flames will get this out. Will force Ekholm on his back skate. Connor McDavid just got rid of it quickly. And now the Flames will see what they can do. Farabee off the touch. And look out here. 2-on-1. It's McDavid, Draisaitl cross. And this one fought off by Wolf. Man, oh man. As Kadri now to the left side red line. Right up the gut again. Drop the number 91. Another one. Weegar try to walk in. And this did get to Connor Ingram. I thought Weegar might have got also hooked on the hands as well. 4-on-4 for another $1.22 and 14:37 left to go in this second frame. So a pass that just missed, and it's 97-29 on the break. And Draisaitl, McDavid tried to get him over there toward the right side, dot to hammer home a hat trick. And that was a good save for Dustin Wolf. He had to have it slide over because if Edmonton gets another goal, you have to think they're putting it out of reach here, considering the way that they played as we're getting closer to the month of January. Darnell Nurse. Play this one on the backhand for Janmark. As the Flames get the steal, this is Connor Ingram. He gets bumped a little bit, but this shot goes wide. And now MacKenzie Weegar play this one off the back skate to Jonathan Huberdeau. 1 minute left to go and 4-on-4. It's the second time I've been able to say that. Morgan Frost walks in and shoots. Good 5 save for Ingram. Like those chances off the rush for the Flames, but they need more as we get a stoppage at 14-12. Now, if Cooper does jump in, we'll see if he can be around for the rest of the second or not, but I will get into that topic nonetheless. And now, 4-on-3 power play. Got MacKenzie Weegar going in the box. So everything that could go wrong as far as undisciplinary actions is 4-on-3, and MacKenzie Weegar also now tapping on the glass. And he might get taken out of this game if he trips a little bit longer. Now he's doing that against the referee, tapping on the glass, and he might say you're gone. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit just to see what they're going to do with MacKenzie Weegar. I think he's going to get the gate. 10-minute misconduct. He is none too pleased. Game misconduct and unsportsmanlike against MacKenzie Weegar. That's just going to mean more power play time. Rasmus Andersson just trying to get the clarification. Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. You imagine Draisaitl looking for the third. So Frost, I didn't see anything. Ooh, that's what MacKenzie Weegar did now. I was looking for a bump on Frost. He just slaps the stick out of the hand of one of the Edmonton players, and then he's having some fun. And then Zeri's like, hey, man, calm down. And Weegar goes, you know what? I want to say what I want to say. And then he's going to get a misconduct. So if Cooper was here, we'll have to ask him. I don't really like that there for MacKenzie Weegar, but we'll see what happens. 5:48 left to go. It's now 4-on-3 for 57 seconds, and it's going to be more after that as MacKenzie Weegar is going to sit in the sin bin at least away from the game for 10 full minutes with the misconduct. So the Oilers have a great opportunity here to kind of take this completely out of the sails of the Flames. Draisaitl, Bouchard, fake the slap pass one-timer for Draisaitl, and that one misses it all. This goes back for Bouch. Now in the middle of the slot walk in, it's McDavid. He's kept on the left side. Donald spin around. Work on his forehand now. McDavid looking for Draisaitl. Bouchard gets it there. Pass to McDavid. McDavid patient. To the left side. He's on his back skate. He'll turn around now. This goes to Bouchard. High slot. Back to 97. He shoots. Just missed the net. And then the carom goes back to Dustin Wolf.
Oh, John. Well, I was still on the feed while I stepped away there. Thank you again. I know I've been on the feed a little bit too much here. I love this from Connor McDavid. I almost wonder if that was shot deliberately wide. He has the skill to be able to literally bank something in. Yep, I think that is exactly what he was looking for as we see that overhead replay. But man, oh man, from Weegar. I know it's Battle of Alberta. Weegar's got the goal for the Flames tonight. That leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth and unsportsmanlike.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is this a backdoor? This one's sent back down. I said the same thing. He slashes the stick out of the hands, and then he pounds the glass, gets attention of the referee, and his day's going to be done for a bit. As it's picked up now for Bouchard off the back pass. It's RNH. RNH finds the entry. Here's McDavid again. Collects between his skates. Good pass ahead. This is up front. Sticked away from McDavid. And then flip back down the ice. Again, Edmonton, this is essentially what their fourth power play. At this point, if they score here, you'll already be in danger territory. It's a 2-goal lead already. It's 3-1 Edmonton. Draisaitl has got the last two from RNH, the first one. Weegar had the open for the Flames, Cooper mentioned. McDavid, high slot, what a stutter step. He gets it near the left boards. Now works behind the net with his head up. He's looking for a passing lane. It's Bouchard, one-timer. This one blocked. Hit the right side. Draisaitl collects it off the backboards. This is back to 97. This is now Bouchard. Walks in, shoots. Good save, Wolf. There is a stick out of the hands of one of the Flames. This eludes the stick. Backdoor. What a save, Wolf. As it's trying to get cleared by the Flames, they can't do it. Rushing on the ice is Coronato. He at least bumps McDavid, but he stays with it. Tries to escape between everybody. Here's the clapper behind the net. Things getting very dangerous now as the voice register goes up. Now to the left side, red line. It's Draisaitl. Can't take him off the puck. Ekholm Now Nurse plays the carom near the left side. He's in tight one timer. Oh, what a save! This is lost a couple times. A Wolf offside that too.
I'm not sure where to even start here, John, but how is it not 4-1? That was an absolutely otherworldly save by big number 32 in the crease for the Flames. Incredible stuff. And I'm looking now multiple replays of Wolves slamming the door 3, maybe 4 times on the power play after they got back to even strength. We are going to a TV timeout here. It's somehow still 3-1.
Holy cow.
Wolf magic.
You can't tell me when you look at that, regardless of the numbers to start the year, that Dustin Wolf can't be a franchise netminder when you see sequences like that. That was at least 4 or 5 times that Edmonton should have scored.
No question about it. Zero question about it. And we're talking, this is some of the top opportunities of the night for a team that's already scored 3. And these opportunities came, mind you, on basically one shift. It was all within 30 seconds. We talked about mental focus earlier. Wolf, yeah, he's got the physical skills, but he's got the mental fortitude to stay in it and not think, oh, okay, I made one big save and I'm out of the woods. No. He was in the woods the whole time. He had a teammate in front of him with no stick, so they're even strength, but basically down man, and he still slams the door. That is impressive.
You know what else is impressive too? I'm looking at this again. Last time we talked about the Buffalo Sabres, they were 14-14-4. They've won 4 games in a row now. They beat the Senators, who are no slouch. They win in overtime 3-2. And if I'm looking at the NHL standings correctly, they have 40 points. They are 3 points from a playoff spot in the Atlantic.
You know what, John? I love it. I love a little turnaround. Listen, I know the Flames are down right now, but the Flames have been playing their best hockey of late, led by their captain, Michael Backlund, and Weegar's. Other than his unsportsmanlike tonight, Weegar's got the goal. He's been playing better late as well. And I just love what the Sabres are doing. Not really counting themselves out here, just grinding away from that 500 spot and putting 4 wins in a row together. And I love it. I like some teams knocking on the door of those wild cards.
I know, Cooper, you mentioned if you're going to be away for the second intermission, if we get to another TV timeout, I'll bring up that ECHL topic. I just want to get your quick thoughts. But if you will be here, we will save that for the second intermission.
Yeah, let's keep going. If you don't mind, continue with your excellent play-by-play, and we'll check in when we get to that next TV timeout. We're going to have a scrap here, my friend. It's Bahl, and I don't see his opponent, but it's going to be a
Kevin Bahl and Trent Frederick. Bahl with a big overhead. Frederick then responds. Frederick now trying to get an uppercut. A takedown for Bahl.
John, Bahl looking like he's in the UFC. That was pretty. I mean, he's getting ready to do the Olympics, but that's some Greco-Roman stuff right there. That's incredible in the Battle of Alberta. I think Bahl got a little bit of the better of Frederick there, but these are 2 big boys going toe-to-toe. That's what you expect to see when the Flames and the Oilers meet up.
Well, I know back-to-back games, and the last one we covered, it was a 6-3 for Calgary over Vegas, but back-to-back games with also a scrap between 2 teams in the Pacific. I love it.
Yeah, me too. That was right off the draw. You saw sticks and gloves hitting the deck, and a couple of right hands from Frederick. But Bahl did a good job defending himself pretty well. Yeah, Bahl hits one there as we see the replay. And ultimately, Bahl goes, you know what, I'm just putting you on your back. He dropped him on the ice, and then they could separate.
I will say this in between Kevin Bahl, and I think about some of the stuff for the Red Wings as well. And I'm not saying going ahead and making all those because they just signed him there to Calgary. He's looked good. But the stay-at-home defensive defenseman, as Cooper said the other day, also has some moves in behind his net. I think he's one of the very most steady players that are underrated in Calgary's back end.
Yeah, you said it, my friend. I can't summarize it any better than that. We're nearing the halfway point of regulation here. 11:30 to go in second. 22 shots for the Oilers, 11 for Calgary. 3-1 advantage for the home squad.
Pass there for Huberdeau and Sharangovich goes up into the players' bench. Again, for as crazy as it sounds, we just profiled that Dustin Wolf sequence where he came back in a break. He made about 5 sparkling stops in a row. I don't think many goaltenders could. That's why this scoreline is still within 2. Crazier things would happen. And after that fight and takedown, looks like Trent Frederick's dealing with some blood on that thumb.
Yeah, we don't always see shots like that, but we get the camera inside the penalty box. Maybe balls some of the right hooks. These guys cut them with knuckles. He's one of those paddles with
11 minutes left to go officially in the second. John here with you alongside Hopkins. I feel spoiled. We got back-to-back games. We've been working together here, but we get a little pre-Christmas celebration before we get to a turn of the new year. There will be plenty more in 2026. And hopefully, at least I can hold Cooper to, if the Red Wings make the playoffs, a call of those. But if he's calling some baseball and softball, maybe not. There's Brustevich. Now we'll get this pass ahead. So 3-on-3. Here's a chance. Fought up by Ingram. And he will hold. Lomberg let it go near the left dot.
Yeah, John, I'm going to say it. Lomberg's line is actually the one that's catching my eye most often for Calgary. You know, I'm not seeing a ton of Kadri necessarily. Weegar, of course, has the goal, but when it comes to the forwards, that was Beecher and Lomberg putting something together there. And that almost handcuffed Ingram. He had to scramble and cover that thing up.
I will say this for Johnny Beecher, the former U of M man, still trying to find his way, if I'm being nice about that. But that was a good pass across to set up Lomberg. And again, Lomberg's shown he's had the ability to score. When you had that 2-on-1, and then he gets it from Zary and finishes it off himself. As this is picked up now off the skates of Clapton, and he's sent back down to Jan Kuznetsov. But as Cooper also mentioned too, you need more of those names to pop back up here for Calgary. Again, they're not out of it, but they want to be able to get back into it. They need more of those guys to step up. Rasmus Andersson, Klapka took a little too long to get set up there, and this will create an opportunity. Majapani off the rush. He's patient along the inboards as we'll send this around. Joel Hanley will stop it, but this will go to the Edmonton Oilers. Slap pass from Bouchard, Ekholm. They crisscross. Get now back potentially, but Lomberg breaks that up, and now McDavid, who's got 3 assists in this game, off the drop pass. It's RNH. He could walk in. Instead, he goes back to Bouchard. He's lounging around that point. Picked up now near the right side blue line. Here's Ekholm near the left dot. Gets it back from RNH. They change places. Good puck movement. Walk in, RNH. This one maybe off the outside of the cage, but excellent puck movement there for Edmonton. Just everything they're doing is just quick puck movement. It's nothing more than that. Here is McDavid. This bounces out in front, and now the Flames will get it out, alleviate the pressure nicely because they chip it off slowly to not get an icing. This is put up. Here is a break. Wolf, full spiral, makes the save. Adam Klapka, that is his 7th sparkling stop of the period, and that is no exaggeration. RNH now. Try to get this one across the red line. He's played so well considering where this scoreline is. Brustevich try to get this one out. It's turned over. Here's a stick lift. Kuznetsov comes back to help. And now Edmonton. McDavid's been out there for a minute and a half. He's got it now. He looks like he just got back on the ice. Here's a chance. This one goes just wide. Picked up now on the backhand. Sent back down. Zary crisscross with Coleman. Coleman held up at the left side blue line. He has to throw in an open area for Mikael Backlund, the captaincy for the Flames. Gets the steal. Zary, one-timer Andersson. This gets fanned on. McDavid's still out there. It's been a 2-minute shift. He's got it now. Cross scores! Unbelievable!
There's nothing left to possibly say about the captain of the Edmonton Oilers, John. Hyman's going to get the goal, but that's all Connor McDavid. John laid it out for you, listeners. Connor McDavid had been out there for over 2 minutes. That is more than double the length of a standard NHL shift, and he looked like he had just hit the ice. On the other side, John, unfortunately, a couple shifts in a row, the Flames, I'm not sure if it's just the mental fatigue of dealing with a player of the caliber of Connor McDavid and these Edmonton Oilers, or if it's just physical fatigue. But the Flames were behind this step, and finally they saw Wolf after save after save after save, and stellar saves at that, which John also listed. It is at last 4-1 Edmonton. It should have been 4-1 earlier in this period, if not 5 or 6. Unreal from 97 and Hyman.
I'm going to say the same thing. Maybe not try to step on myself here. Here's another rush. This one fought off by Wolf, but that look that Hyman gave McDavid, it'd be like if you and I were playing Shell and you get one of those drop passes there, say, thank you, man. There's nothing else I can do but score there. A little dink and dunk. It's his 4th assist of the game, and I've said that a lot. They're just, as Cooper said, cutting right in front of the net. I mean, Wolf is doing everything he can, but 4 goals looks like a lot, but if it wasn't for him, it'd be 7 or 8. This is Ekholm now. He just holds it in. He was able to put his head down, look toward his skates, sent back around for Draisaitl, and this is starting to look one-sided. Picked up now toward the right side, Dot. Here's a cross-ice look for Draisaitl, who's on the hat-trick watch. And Calgary needs this next goal. They have to have it. Sent back around the inboards now for Huberdeau off the lead. Couldn't find Morgan Frost. Hyman already back again. He's got 10 goals in not a lot of games. McDavid with his 4th apple. He just continues to add points. It's not like Nathan MacKinnon isn't even there. And picked up now off the rebounder, Dustin Wolf, and then pushed outside. The Flames might have a chance, but just eluding the stick off an outreach is one of the Flames of Nazem Kadri. Farabee sends it around the horn. Now this goes back to Igor Sharangovich, Rasmus Andersson. Connor Ingram's got that.
Boy, John, I like what I just saw from Andersson and Kadri. There's just a classic hockey play there. A little shot in from your point. Kadri trying to deflect, wasn't unable to do so ultimately. But my goodness, you described it so well. McDavid gets his defender down, flat on the ice. That's Hanley. Just desperation. And Hyman didn't even celebrate. It was that good. It was that good. He grimaced. It almost looked like he'd been scored against. That's how good you just looked over at McDavid and said, hey, thanks for doing all the work. And you nailed it, John. Just like you're playing shell. You know, whoever's on that ice with you doing everything. You know what? Hyman just finished it. And I'm feeling for Wolf tonight. Again, he's really the only reason that the Flames are even 3 goals away from a tie here. This is a Flames squad that is almost certainly going to walk away with the L this evening, because the Oilers are playing like the team that has made the last 2 Stanley Cup finals. They're looking fantastic this evening.
I mean, they started in that opener that we covered when the Flames came back and Kadri won in round 8, won 4-3. They had a 3-0 lead in that opener. And when you and I talked about the first 2 periods for the Flames in that opener, they looked like they were looking for answers. And now it looks like much of that same tonight. And again, as you mentioned with Dustin Wolf, we're entertained by everything Connor McDavid's doing, no question about it, even though it's bitter rivals. But I got to punch it again for Wolf. You look at the box score, and the numbers might not look great, but as you said, if he's not on the ice today, and I can't imagine how Devin Cooley would be feeling. I mean, he's made about 6, 7, 8 grade A unbelievable stops, and yet the scoreline's still where it is.
Yeah, you said it, and I think we're just going to continue to echo that. I really respect Dustin Wolf. Still in the early portion of his career here. Again, my theme of the night is mental fortitude. Wolf has really shown it. Not that the other Flames haven't, but Wolf is certainly leading the pack. He's head and shoulders in that regard, at least early in the game. And we're seeing these opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers come the other way. Just too many 2-on-1s. A little slow-footed are the Calgary Flames tonight. It just looks like, I don't want to say they look fully defeated, but they do look like a team that's a tier below their opponent this evening.
I know this is in the midst of the play-by-play, but if something happens, I will jump in. But I do want to ask you, you got Dustin Wolf back in there. You got the 7.5 that kicks in. Huberdeau is going to make 10, but it'll be the second highest tenured Flame, which is not a lot of money for Dustin Wolf considering what he is. As this team gets better, though, down the line, do you think Dustin Wolf can be in that same category of a Mike Vernon or a Mika Kiprusoff or guys like that? Because it certainly seems like it.
Yeah, actually, John, I love that you made those 2 comps, and those are 2 of the probably most legendary goaltenders in the history of the Flames franchise. Listen, Mika Kiprusoff, I do think stands alone. Look, Vernon's, as there's a shot that just goes wide of the trapper on Wolf's side. I'll wrap it up by saying both Vernon and Kiprusoff have those numbers retired. I think Vernon is a great comp. It's offside for the Flames here. Frustration for Calgary continues. Kiprusoff, I'm going to leave on his own pedestal until further notice, but I do think Wolf can be in the conversation for one of the best ever if he sticks around with Calgary. And John, it was almost 5-1. That shot beat Wolf. I think it deflected off his shoulder and off of the crossbar.
And I will say this in terms of Mike Vernon, again, you forget when it comes to the Detroit Red Wings also helps us win a Stanley Cup. So it's one of those goalies that I also have in the highest regard as well. But again, I like watching Dustin Wolf, and it is no disrespect for Devin Cooley because he's been really, really good this year. And he also might be one of those pieces you look at. And I'm not going to say that Calgary is also going to trade with their rival, but Devin Cooley might help out another team if Dustin Wolf is going to be able to get the most of these starts.
I agree, John. I'll let you continue with more by point. I apologize for the busy starts on my end. I'm just going to step away very briefly again from the broadcast, but I will jump back on. I know we got the intermission talk coming up. I'll probably see you there.
Okay. So this will be picked up now for Connor Ingram, and they'll be knocked away. This will be sent toward the left side blue line. And now Kevin Bahl. Flip this back around the inboards here. Main opportunity for Brustevich to go ahead and stop again. 5 minutes left to go in the second. The shot board reads 27-13 as Edmonton has a 4-1 advantage. Again, if we're going to go ahead through this reset, as we will get another whistle at 4:49, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 penalties in the second. You had Rasmus, Andersson, and Selipod Colson with singular ones in the first. But you have Zach Hyman and Draisaitl in the second period, and then Draisaitl and RNH and MacKenzie Weegar in the first. Again, I'll stop the recorder in a second. But your reset on the shot board is 27-13 for the Oilers, 17-9 on hits for the Flames, 22-15 on draws. But where you really talk about it, the Red Wings were lucky to get their win today. But power play opportunities, 2 for 3. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it doesn't take much for the Edmonton Oilers. And when you get that there, that puts you in trouble. And we'll see how it continues as this game goes along.
Burger King, you are the value. New number 10, I make them match my way. Here's 7 tasty items, and I can get 2 for $5 or 3 for $7. That's all to me, the $5 deal or $7 trio. The Burger King Classic for pancakes. Choose your deal. It's just like our new house. I hope you have an American Home Shield warranty. Leaky toilet? Fixed. Oven beyond repair? If AHS can't fix your comfort item, then replace it without age. Sign up today at AHS.com.
Well, Ryan Lumberg, this team would never quit, especially with someone like him in the lineup. And that enthusiasm runs in the family. This is his son, Roman. His son was asking me about our schedule after the Christmas break. He said, his dad, I told him it's the Oilers. And his son said, wait a minute, Dad. We played them before. I said, we get them both, buddy. He's so excited. He loves the Battle of Alberta. And so do we, Roman. Let's not forget.
I like that camera shot that they just showed of Ryan Lomberg and his son. Again, they got some family in the mix of the stands between this Battle of Alberta, where they're going to get a chance to get some home ice for them to have some fun, and then also get a chance to play some games with his son-in-law once this is done. So Connor McDavid will be the after-hours guest following Edmonton and Calgary on Saturday. Don't know if I'm going to be covering that one, but I have to go ahead and listen to that because it is Connor McDavid after all. Here's another chance off the rush. It's Bouchard, but way offside. So Edmonton, and we get another stoppage at 4:30 of the second. So no problem. I know Cooper's been able to jump in and out. I'm just happy to be able to work with him on some of this stuff. Connor McDavid going to go to the box. But what did he do? He's going to get busted for a holding call, they say. And he has a little bit of a tug on Nazem Kadri. And I will say this, in Connor's respect, I've seen much worse that has not been called, but he will get busted there. And Calgary gets a glorious opportunity here with McDavid out of the box, but you also got to be careful once you get close to that final 2 minutes at the 2:30 spot of the second that he's not the one that gets right out of the box and then scores to add 5 points to his day. But this is another game that I've covered with McDavid where he's got 4 points. This would be 3 in a row. Couple of good saves for Ingram, and then flip back down the ice. Dustin Wolf will stop it as Bouchard gets the full-length clear. And now Rasmus Andersson off the drop pass. Leave now for Coronato. Coronato worked right up the gut and try to get back to him. Goes just wide for 27. Kadri now gets it to Andersson near the right side. There'll be a touch pass. Coronato, Rasmus Andersson could walk in and shoot. He does not. As it's Huberdeau. He goes cross ice for Kadri, and that does not find anyone. Here is Podkolzin, quickly played by Wolf. He kept his head up. He's trying to start a rush here for the Flames. Now for Morgan Frost. We'll throw it into an empty corner to the left side dot. And off the drop pass. Frost, one-timer, fought off by Ingram. It was at the net. Darnell Nurse to Vadseli Podkolzin now. Able to keep his head up and then content to throw it all the way down. This actually hit him for 170 feet. It hit Dustin Wolf and Podkolzin. 35 seconds left to go on that power play. Picked up now for Connor Zary. Tried to dipsy doodle, and he's going to have to go back into his own end on the left side blue line. Zary, keep his head up for Brustevich. Brustevich now off the drop for Igor Sharangovich, former Devil. Coleman now to the left side red line. Brustevich, want to see him shoot it. He does not. Coleman, it's loose in front and bounced off a couple bodies. Now, when Calgary elects to hold a little bit, that allows Edmonton to collapse. You want to get Sharangovich like that, get some more shots. Here's Test Ingram enough. Probably get a couple of goals out of that. Brustevich, he's patient. Near the left side, not looking for a cross-ice feed. And now McDavid's out of the box. We said you don't want. Connor, what a move! And this one is knocked away after being shot high and picked up here for the Flames. Backlund, settle it down. Across the Oilers logo. Michael Backlund off the lead. It's Draisaitl. He's got a breakaway opportunity set up for Hyman. And Dustin Wolf says no to that. Considering what the scoreline is, 4-1, Dustin Wolf, we talk about, he has been pretty sparkling because this game could have been a lot worse. 2:02 left to go in the second. Again, if Cooper's a little bit late to join, I'll give you some scores, but I will get into that ECHL topic because I think it's worth discussing as far as what's left to go in these leagues. You got Brustevich on McDavid, and all he does is get a little bit of a, not a toe drag, but a little bit of a head fake to get around Brustevich, but he's able to stay with him stride for stride, and that's pretty good work for Hunter, all things considered. As we have 1 second expired from the shot clock difference, 2:02 left to go in the second. John here with you. Cooper Hopkins joined me. Probably will get back in there nonetheless. I really don't like those cream-colored jerseys, I'll be honest with you, though. There's Lomberg. Now for Klapka. Klapka going to try to get his own chip and chase. Gets a hit against Alec Regula. Here's Lomberg. Takes this back to the point now. Bahl. Back from Lomberg. That was dangerous. Looking for Backlund, and it's McDavid again. McDavid, what a pass! And this one stopped by Wolf with the left side. This might be the best game I've ever seen him play. Off the drop, Hyman from McDavid. It's Draisaitl back to 97. Here's the sauce. Darnell Nurse, one-timer. That one fought off by Wolf. He has been so good in this game. It'd be a shame if this puck doesn't start going the other way. McDavid, touch pass. Looking for Draisaitl in the hat. This one gets knocked away. Klapka. This pass picked off there for Lomberg. Flip back down. You get the fourth line against line number 1. And how much you can hold for that. There's about 9:15 of ozone time. Here is Stastny. Lost it. This goes back around now for Zach Hyman. At the bumper, McDavid tries to shoot up high to fake out Wolf, but that one missed. Picked up now for 97. Doing whatever he wants out there. Here's a drop from Stastny. And the Flames can elude the pressure. Roll it down the ice with the vulcanized rubber. Here's Jacques Roslovic. Roslovic with his head up, all sorts of speed, right up the gut. Work his way to the right dot. This gets knocked away. Kadri off the bumper. This will be Coronato. Play this off the carom to Rasmus Andersson. A little too hard for Huberdeau. Huberdeau now trying to get himself some position. It was a 1-1 game at one point, but the Edmonton Oilers have scored 3 unanswered. And McDavid, it's been his world in this one. We're just living in it. Down to 5 seconds left to go in this middle frame, and that is how we're going to end it. Connor McDavid's got 4 assists, and he could have had more if not for Dustin Wolf. Again, I can't say that enough, the way this game has gone. So power plays look good for them. Again, we kind of gave you those resets. I'm going to go ahead and give you a scoreboard reset before I break into this topic, depending on where Cooper will be or will join in. So let me refresh the NHL standings. The Nashville Predators have been playing better of late. They have a 3-2 victory over the Minnesota Wild in overtime. Brock Faber and Joel Eriksson Ek, 7 minutes and 52 seconds in the second. But it's Ryan O'Reilly, Roman Josi, and Steven Stamkos, who's 15th on the winner, for Maricola and Nick Blankenberg, the former U of M man. Philip Gustafson, 26 of 29 in the loss, and Yusei Saros, I have to say it's one of his better games, 30 of 32. The Flyers are up 2-0 on the Blackhawks right now with 4:23 left to go in the second. Your scoring update there as I stack these remotes. Let me give you a look. For the Flyers, 2-0 lead. It is Noah Cates and Travis Konecny and Trevor Zegras. Konecny's got 2 points, goal and an assist. Trevor Zegras has an assist, so does Sean Couturier. Spencer Knight, 9 of 11. Samuel Ersson has stopped all 11 shots that he's faced. Not a lot of shots on goal in the game so far. The Mammoth are doing the best they can against the Avalanche right now. They're only down 1 after 2. Sam Girard, who's just come back, has scored an unassisted goal in the second at 7:57. Scott Wedgwood, the lumberyard, part of that, 20 of 20. And Vitek Vanacek, 21 of 22. They're doing the best they can in the Mammoth, but it's only a matter of time, you would think, for the Colorado Avalanche. After 1, it is 5-0 Golden Knights on the San Jose Sharks. I guess they must have been a little bit perturbed after dropping back-to-back games and back-to-back nights over the Flames and the Oilers. They're taking it out on the Sharks. Brett Howden, Mitch Marner, Colton Sissons, Tomas Hertl, and Mark Stone, all with the goals in the first. Carter Hart's only had to make 5 saves. Yaroslav Askarov was pulled after giving up 4. It was the second time he's been pulled in as many weeks. Alex Nedeljkovic, 1 of 1 for Askarov. These numbers are not updated, but he'll fall to 12, 10, and 1. His save percentage will be in close to the 880s, and his goals against should blow up to about 325. So when you get a 4 spot against you and you get pulled and you get that 5 there, that's all you can ask for as far as your numbers going up. The Montreal Canadiens get a huge win over the Boston Bruins. They win 6-2. The third period was all theirs. Merit Kushchadinov and Alex Steeves gets the goals for the Bruins, but that was it in the first. Sammy Blais, Ivan Demidov, Zach Bolduc, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Uri Slavkowski with the goals. Lane Hudson already has 30 assists. Jeremy Swayman roughed up, 23 of 29, easily one of his worst games. Jacob Fowler continues to get starts in net. He is 26 of 28. Kraken and Kings still scoreless. Again, as mentioned, the Maple Leafs beat the Penguins 6-2. The Rangers destroy the Caps. And let me make sure I click on this correctly for the Caps. The Caps have lost 3 games in a row now, back-to-back with the Red Wings, and 7-3 to the Blue Shirts. Your standouts in that one are as follows. You have Taylor Radish opening the scoring for New York with Will Cooley. It was a 3-2 lead after 2 for the Capitals. John Carlson, Dylan Strome, Alexi Protas. But then Radish again, Lafreniere, Trocheck, Panarin, and Trocheck one more time. Logan Thompson, just a 700 save percentage. 14 of 20. Igor Shesterkin does well enough. 29 of 32 as the Blue Shirts win big over the Caps. Islanders hold off the Devils 2-1. Jack Hughes has come back, but he still needs some time. That is all the rest of your scores today, as I was biding a little bit of time for Cooper. I'm going to hold on to this for a couple more minutes just in case he comes back in, and then we will talk about the discussion.
This one is overtime, by no winner. In the extra frame, it's Larkin. With the puck on his stick, makes a nice little move. Takes on basically 3 defenders by himself. Scores anyway. It's 11th career overtime winner. Detroit's 8th win in 10 games, and they remain atop the Atlantic Division after a 4-3 win.
Just a fantastic day and night of hockey. Of course, we'll have a full edition of Sportsnet Central coming up after the Flames and Oilers games. But for now, we're going to send things back to Edmonton. Jack, Lily, and Jude. Enjoy the third period.
There are no guarantees in sports. But one thing's for sure, when you can breathe better, game days are better. New Pixit continuously works to help prevent asthma attacks. You can add specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not receptor.
So let me get into this as far as the intermission topic. Again, we went over some of the trades or possible trades that could be. We talked about the least assistant. We mentioned Sidney Crosby. So for the AHL, the good news in the American Hockey League, they're closing in on a 5-year CBA extension. Now, Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet is reporting, the 32 Thoughts, that the East Coast Hockey League, ECHL, could go on strike as soon as Friday, December 26th. They have not had a CBA over the last 6 months. Now, in this CBA, they had housing be paid for as well as medical benefits. So they will lose pay, housing, and medical benefits. Now, in the AHL, when the CBA expires, the previous will go into place until a new one is put in. ECHL has no sort of clause like that. And I wanted to talk about this for more info, maybe looking at some brevity as I cover the Sharks. Again, this is a single A team, but still kind of gives you a look. So the ECHL CBA ended last summer. You can't go more than 6 months. Everything is going to be null when it ends. So you think about some of the affiliates. The Rapid City Rush is the ECHL affiliate of the Calgary Flames. Again, the Wrangler AHL affiliate. Kansas City Mavericks. You have the mix in there. The Toledo Walleye, Detroit affiliate AHL, Grand Rapids Griffins. So there are some things to keep in mind. Now, Elliott says that the players are dealing with many unfair practices, fierce negotiations, things have got nasty. Teams want to battle to make money and survive, but they got to ask questions. They got to know what they're getting into. They got to understand what leverage means. And Elliott also says if you're going to swing the hammer, you have to know that you have the power to wield it. So this is what the ECHL players are looking for. An immediate 16.4% increase to the salary cap this season, and additional cap increases in future years, which would increase players' salary nearly 27% from the current cap. In addition to players' salaries, the East Coast Hockey League will continue to cover 100% of players' costs for fully furnished housing, utility and internet costs, medical and dental benefits. They've also made several excursions and proposals aimed at improving the health and safety, including requirements for mandatory days off, addressing travel between back-to-back games, and modifying holiday and mid-season breaks. They want to enable every team to provide custom sticks and enable all players to choose an alternated 5-star helmet for the Virginia Tech helmet study to cut down on concussions and reimbursements for meals while traveling, $6 to $60 this year, as well as future increases that will raise it by 24.5% from the current rate. So I know that it sounds like a lot in terms of what the players are demanding, but you got to understand, when you're in a league like that and you're even below the AHL, and I mentioned alongside the Waterford Sharks, again, I know it's just a senior A men's league. When I get some of those travels and stuff myself, and we have to go to Muskegon, I gotta pay for my own hotel room some of the times. Now, some of it can be provided by the team or whatnot, depending on what they have. But if we have to go back there, I'm on the hook for any of the second stuff. Again, these players that in the league that I cover have to go to work the next day. They don't make a ton of money in the league. They kind of do it for the love of the game. Now, when you're talking about the ECHL, you're almost getting to that point, are you not? Maybe where you're making 30, 40K, maybe. But if you're talking about needing fully furnished housing, utility and internet costs, and medical and dental benefits, can't be making much. And you're going to do this to try to fulfill your hockey dreams. So I think I would have to side with the players here. I know it's going to be tough to get all of those costs all done, but if that's what they need to be able to get what they have to do to get be able to play hockey every day and fulfill their everyday needs, then that's what we got to do. To be able to keep the players healthy and upright is the one thing I always talk about. You got to be able to get mandatory days off and cut down the back-to-backs when you can, because you don't want truncated schedules. But again, fully furnished housing, utility, internet costs, and medical and dental benefits. If Cooper gets in here, we'll talk about this a little bit more. But I just want to get your thoughts on that. What do you think? If you were in that league and you knew that's what you needed for your day-to-day, would you demand it? Or do you think that they're asking for too much? Because I think for me, that's probably where things should be. Kind of tells you if you're doing that, like I mentioned with the Sharks, you're doing it for the love of the game in the ECHL. Yes, you're trying to get up to the American Hockey League then the NHL, and live out your dreams, but it takes a lot. And it doesn't sound like NIL money for some of these guys. It sounds like they're just kind of scraping by. So I was interested to get your thoughts on that. When we come back, we'll call the third period.
Explosive skater. We're seeing him really take off, and in this game tonight, he's had lots of chances. He has the speed and strength in his skating to get to the spot on time. Playing with the speed of McDavid, that's the tap in. Far side, have to elevate in tight. He's been around it once again in this one. And like I said, he knows exactly what he does best in his game. He doesn't venture from that. He demands the puck in the right spots, and there's the numbers right there. Points in the last two games. Wow. Oilers were outshot 13-3 in the third period on Sunday. That was the second of a back-to-back.
So as we get into the third period, John, I'm here with you. Again, I'm not sure if Cooper-Hoffman's going to jump back in or not, but this is the third time I've covered Edmonton this year, and Connor McDavid's had 4 assists in every game I've covered. So it's 4-1 right now. Calgary needs to get some shots, and we'll see what happens on the Saturday as Dustin Wolf again cancels off Leon Draisaitl. Again, 5 comeback wins this season: Edmonton, Vancouver, Florida, LA, and Seattle. But again, that Edmonton one was opening night that Cooper and I covered. This gets knocked away from Nazem Kadri and picked up now. Darnell Nurse tried to throw it in the corner for Leon Draisaitl. As this goes up and out of play with 19:21 left to go in the final period of regulation. It certainly looks like that's all we'll need. Again, we had a loaded show. Again, Cooper's been able to jump in and out, but we've been able to give you a few different topics. I talked about the ECHL topic. If he was in here, we would have broke that down a little bit more to get his thoughts. But I wanted to throw that out there just in case I don't see you guys on an AHL call until 2026. We are going to try to get some old juniors nonetheless. Backlund. Now for Bahl. As this eludes Connor Zary, Blake Coleman tried to get a stick in it near the left side bedline. Back down Dustin Wolf. Back around now for Rasmus Andersson as he hits Roslovic a couple times. Now Majapani pops back up. As he goes to the right side boards again, another hold there for Coleman as he finishes his check. Darnell Nurse and Savoy. Play this one off the backhand. Picked up now for Kevin Bahl. Bahl to Coleman. Coleman on his backhand. We'll just shove it in open area for Connor Zary. And Zary now will get it in. 18:35 left to go in the third. Edmonton's done exactly what they needed to do. It's not even just the 4-1 scoreline. They kept the shots down in face of Connor Ingram. If they can play that way, then it really wouldn't matter who's in net. I just don't know if they're going to be able to consistently do that once they get into playoff teams and get a little bit later in the year when you're playing against teams like Dallas and Colorado and Vegas. So that is something with this goaltending tandem, if it will hold or not. That would be what I'd be thinking about. Handling. Watch this one go back to the point. Bouchard. This is pinched in deep for McDavid. Now Bouchard flips it back across. Slap shot gets blocked. Gets sent back in behind the horn. I think this is out. So we'll have to at least get this to the neutral zone at 17:55. Joel Farabee might have been stung on that last slap shot as he's gingerly making his way to the players' bench.
I see that as well, John. And as we watch Farabee scoot down the bench, I apologize to you, my friend. We'll have to squeeze in. I swear I'm not trying to avoid your topic that we still have yet to dive into, but we'll use one of the timeouts. Ooh, there is the replay. Looks like on the right ankle, that slap shot from just about 4 feet or 5 feet away. That's got to feel pretty bad.
9-4-1 in the last 14 games for the Oilers, 4.07 goals for per game. So again, these we said third in the NHL, but that 3.24 is right at the same in goals against. But Edmonton can give up the shots. Calgary's got to get more shots. As Lomberg put this in behind the inboards now, Darnell Nurse will watch. Again, shots are 31-16. These two teams will meet again on Saturday when the Christmas pause is over. Rustevich will get some ice time as this will be flipped back down. And the Sea of Red are going to try to go from right to left. Not used to saying that on the road, but that's the jerseys that they're wearing. First assist of the season since December 18th for Max Jones. This is a profile of that, young Kuznetsov. We'll take this one from right to left. Here's Kadri again. That's one of the names Cooper said. Just like me, you got to be able to get them going. When you talk about that fourth line, and we like Ryan Lomberg as much as anybody, that cannot be your best line if you want to beat a team like this. It is Nazem Kadri now off the spin and turn. 91 trying to buy some time. Good work there with Huberdeau, but his pass doesn't find anyone. He was looking for Hanley, but that gets picked off easily. You got Podkolzin off the drop for Leon off the give and go. Leon uses the wall nicely, but then has to cough it up. Back in behind the inboards now for the Flames. Here's Connor Zary. Edmonton in the midst of a change. Zary trying to get them to back up. Play the Kiram off the left side of the dot. Zary on his forehand, the lefty patient. Looking for a lane here. Backlund, his pass attempt, bounce off the skates. Brzustevich lets it go. This one will be knocked down. Gloved out beautifully, but Coleman's going to say no. They're going to call a hand pass.
Yeah, John, I love what you said. I mean, I don't love that the circumstances have demanded that you say it, but I appreciate what you said about the Flames' fourth line. I think we both agree have been the most notable line for the Flames tonight. And as much as we are fans of Lomberg and his Patriots on that fourth line, they can't be your best group.
No.
Do you expect to beat the Oilers and teams of this caliber?
Nope, and that's why I kind of punched that button as much as it hurts to say. But again, the broadcast record will still look good. They'll be playing again. They're going to be 1-1 in the season series because again, that was just the opening night that we covered together. So we covered both of these meetings so far this year. As this will be flipped back down. Rustevich pushes in for Sharangovich. Good steal there, but Sharangovich didn't have enough time to get the shot off. He didn't really take too long. He just had the forecheck in his face. Rustevich now will flip this around the horn. This will get picked off momentarily, but the Flames will get it. Good skating there for Frost. Be able to get a set up there for Farabee, former Flyer teammate off the drop, looking for Frost. And Andersson has to go find it as he had to elude a skate that was in his face. Picked up now for Farabee. Touch pass from Frost. Farabee putting on some moves, but this is stick this side by Matthias Ekholm again. They picked him up about 2.5 seasons ago, but he's been a mainstay since coming over from the Nashville Predators. They don't have a lot of cap space as the Oilers go off sides.
Yeah, John, exactly 5 minutes gone here, and we do get a quick shot of McDavid. I thought he might have been holding that left arm gingerly, but it looks like he's just taking a nice big inhale and exhale as he gets back to the door at his side of the bench. And Rasmus Andersson as well. He's the man that we keep discussing, John. This that package deal that you mentioned earlier in the broadcast tonight, the potential of a Coleman and Andersson package deal heading to the Stars for what could be, I would imagine, picks. I would think if you're going to go have 2 players leave your roster, you're probably going to get at least one back that you can slot in. But certainly a topic of conversation that will remain at the top of our list.
And a tripping is going to remain at the top of the list here as the Flames will concede another.
Well, I didn't mean to step on your play-by-play there, no pun intended, because Hanley was stepping on one of the Oilers right there, and he went down hard. And boy, it looks like I thought it was a skate, but it was the blade of the stick. Either way, another penalty for the Flames. It's been not only a game, John, where they've struggled to create offense, they've just always been on the back foot fighting against the Oilers, who are on the man advantage, it seems, every other minute or so.
Yeah, it's interesting since I've adopted this team and done so many games with you, and I know you're the lifer here. I could say I enjoy watching the Edmonton power play, but I don't enjoy watching it against the team that we're watching it against. So it's tough to try to be neutral on these now. I know how you feel after all these years. Here's McDavid drive to the net. This one knocked away, and then slammed it by Draisaitl. That's the 5th assist of the game.
Give him that hat trick, John. Expect the hats to rain on down. And Santa has brought something special for Leon Draisaitl tonight. It's all Edmonton, really, from the start. You mentioned that RNH might have had 2. Well, Draisaitl's cleaned it up every time he's been around the net. He's got 1, 2, now maybe it's 3. There are the hats. So the fans offering the team on the ice some gifts tonight. It might be gently warned, but still, anytime you see the hats rain down, if you're an Oilers fan, my goodness, what a joy. Draisaitl has been unstoppable. But again, you mentioned it, it's McDavid. I think McDavid's going to get an assist there, is he not?
5th of the game.
Unreal. So we have a Hattie and 5, count them 5. You need a full hand's worth of fingers to count up all the assists for 97 tonight. He remains the class of the hockey world, as does his line mate, Leon Draisaitl. Nothing, once again, that Dusty Wolf can do about it. I feel so badly for number 32 in net.
Right.
He has played extraordinarily, John, and yet still 6 have gone in.
Yeah, I don't know what to say here because, again, you talk about these opportunities. Cooper and I aren't being disingenuous here. All you really got to do off the drop pass is that McDavid's been able to set up his breathe on the puck. I mean, it's just gifts.
Yeah, there's no way, 2 ways around it. I mean, you have solid defenders out there. You have Andersson, Bahl, and Mikael Backlund in the area. McDavid commands so much attention, John. I don't know how you maintain discipline there. And even if you do so, I think Draisaitl's probably going to pound that thing home anyway.
Right.
So this is a tough night for the Flames. They're going to have to really reevaluate here. And I have a shot here on the Sportsnet feed of Wolf and Backlund having a quick conversation. I wonder if Wolfie's just going to get a rest potentially. It's not because he's played poorly.
No.
Excuse me, I said 6 have been put in. It's 5, of course. But he has been hung out to dry far too many times.
9th hat trick for Draisaitl, and you have to imagine that's the conversation you alluded to between Backlund and Wolf. Just to say, hey man, because I would say the same thing if I'm a teammate. It's not your fault. That's all I'd have to say. It's not your fault. You did everything you could for us tonight.
Yeah, John, that's so in that 14:22 to go here in the third, so tons of time left. Flames just 16 shots. I mean, when you're this deep into a contest, you definitely want to be further ahead on the shot board here. This just speaks to the dominance of the Oilers tonight. They've been all over it, finishing their chances. You basically can't take a penalty against this team, that's for sure.
No.
They have 5 and could easily have 4 before this game is all said and done.
Yeah, 3 power play goals already. And again, Cooper and I would be thinking about this. Again, you want to enjoy your Christmas holiday, New Year, and everything else, but these teams are going to meet again on Saturday. And my question, and alongside Flames fans or anyone else, what's going to change in between Tuesday and Saturday? Because you're going to run out the same personnel. Even if you throw out Devin Cooley, that won't change anything because even for as good as he's been, I don't think he would have been able to make 4 or 5 saves that Dustin Wolf already made in the second period.
Yeah, and Wolf's going to stay out there. Again, I mean, there's so many reasons that I respect him and admire him, even at this young age, at this early point in his career. But my goodness, he has been put through the grinder. He's been tenderized tonight by the Edmonton Oilers, and he's going to stay out there and try to continue to stop that puck.
Broken stick as Emerson absorbs a hit, the 20th of the year for Draisaitl. Again, Draisaitl had an 11-game streak where he did not score, and then that has been absolved by scoring a hat trick. I think he got one the other night against Vegas, who just pounded the San Jose Sharks. I'll give you another scoring update for that, but that one was ugly, even more so than this one, as Mangiapane gets denied by Wolf. This will be picked up now near the right side. I'd like to see the Flames maybe get a couple more. They got to get some shots on the board. That's all I'm asking for here right now is Frost. Sharon Belbich tried to throw back at the point of Rasmus. That was a knuckle puck. Couldn't hold it in. Go back to Jan Kuznetsov. Been one of those nights, though. This is sent in toward the left side red line. Connor Ingram really was not tested. And that's kind of what I was alluding to as Cooper was joining back in. Now this might work for tonight as this goes up and out of play. This should be a power play for the Flames. But when you're playing against other teams that are more dangerous, probably not going to hold the shot board to 16. But the Flames get a power play as it goes out of play.
Yeah, I think at this point, John, you have to. It's the kind of commentary now where we, of course, have to add in the qualifier. There are no moral victories necessarily, but with a man advantage here coming up, I think the Flames have a chance to at least remind themselves that they can hang with this team, this Oilers team. Looks like we're going to get a commercial break here, a little TV timeout, so maybe we can dive into something else. But I'll just wrap it up by saying, use these 2 minutes to your advantage, no pun intended, as best as possible, even just to close that scoreline a little bit and hopefully claw back some confidence heading into the rematch, which is coming up right around the corner.
I'm going to say this again now for the Seattle Kraken. Ever since we had this conversation, and maybe it was a good reason to do so, they could be 3-0 since Jordan Eberle has scored again. He had a hat trick almost the other night. Might have been Ayers, Chandler Stevenson, and then Freddie Gaudreau now has gone from 0 goals to 3 over the last 3 games. Cooper said they have a chance here against the LA Kings. Well, they're up 2-0. Joey Decord has stopped all 19 shots he's faced so far.
Yeah, credit to Decord. And John, you were the first when we started our conversation about the Kraken last time around to mention that Decord's been a real bright spot for Seattle, and that continues to be the case.
That's what you got to do. And I mentioned that Shark score that you want to look away from. Golden Knights had a 5 spot in the first. Macklin Celebrini already has 19. And let me just make sure that I click on Macklin's name. I just want to get where he's got. He's got 54 points and a plus 12. And oh, by the way, if he wanted to, he could still play in the World Juniors because he's 19.
Oh, this kid, the future is so bright that bright's probably not even a strong enough phrase or a term for him. I mean, he's really coming into his own. We're watching it happen in real time. And I love that. I love that little tidbit. Yeah, he's still so young that he qualifies as a kiddo, but he's playing with the big boys, and he's making a big impact, no question about it.
So we've seen all the highlights. Cooper and I won't belabor those points. Battle of Alberta, career versus Flames, 65 points. McDavid, 68 for Draisaitl. Again, these guys play a lot, but I'll just be saying this for reference. It's the third game I've covered of the Oilers, notwithstanding in the Open. And every single game, McDavid's had at least 4 assists. So he's got 5 tonight. Rasmus Andersson, power play, slap pass. This one goes behind the inboards and down. Dustin Wolf will close this game, all things considered, but the shot board has been slain at 37-16. That's not what you want to hear if you're a Flames fan. Picked up now. Frost will lurk across the middle, and this will get picked off again. 1 for 4 on the October 8th matchup that we covered. Again, that was one of the power play goals when they were down 3-0. The Flames came back 1-4-3. Now toward the right side, dot. In between Andersson skates, Huberdeau. Back to Rasmus. Patient are the Flames. If they've been kept on the outside and a little too much puck handling, will allow them and Stastny to clear it down the ice. Dustin Wolf will slow it. Near the left side, dot. Send this back slowly behind the inboards. Connor Zary now. We get a chance to run with the vulcanized rubber. They'll like that drop pass. So Igor Sharangovich will be the puck carrier. Gets in, gets around 4 Oilers. Blake Coleman on his backhand and behind the cage with Connor Ingram. He gets bowled over. Now Farabee on his back skate. He's just going to close it down here to the left side red line and start again. Farabee, this pass too hard off the inboards. Flames can't get started. Now Dustin Wolf as Bouchard clears it down. Brzustevich, number 48, he's got a bright future. Washington Township, Michigan native. As this one's knocked away, Brzustevich picks it up. Good pass. Couldn't control it in between the skate blade to Coleman. He's a little bit upset with himself. I don't blame him. Coleman now try to chase. Here's Connor Zary. Savoy eludes the pressure. And now this can be cleared for the Oilers on their power play. Glove down. Picked up for the Flames. Farabee, left side blue line. Sends it around the horn now. Sharangovich will watch. Goes back to Rasmus. And this is picked off. Again, Bouchard on the opposite point. Rasmus will stick it ahead toward the Oilers logo. Now Backlund finds the entry. 10:40 left to go in his third. You're with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. Just glad to be working 2 games in a row, regardless of the scoreline. I get it. Sometimes it happens. As it's picked up there, Roslovic bounced from his skates, and he gets judo flipped. My goodness. That's going to draw a crowd. Rasmus Andersson probably going to the box. We might get more. Lomberg incensed. He wants a piece of somebody. And now we're really saying happy holidays.
Oh, yes. This is an entire set of lines coming together. I should say 2 lines, 1 from each team coming together. Andersson has just looked a little out of sorts tonight. He's been on the ice for a couple of those power play goals that Draisaitl has scored. He's also been in the box a couple of times. Yeah, John, I have to see a replay here. I don't think it was intentional knee on knee, but I could honestly, even as a Flames fan, understand why the Oilers would be coming after Andersson there. That's a bit of a sketchy play near center ice.
You know why, too? It's Zach Hyman. He just came back from injury.
Yes, he did. Now, let's take a look at this. Yeah, that is a pretty dangerous play.
Yeah.
John, you and I, we always say
I agree.
Try to bring professionalism first. That looked like a knowledgeable defenseman.
I agree.
Rasmus Andersson slide that knee across right near the center red line. I don't love that.
No, I don't either. And I know exactly what Rasmus is trying to do. I think you and I are on the same page. Well, it's been 3 goals, 4 shots for Draisaitl. They scored 3 times on the power play tonight. They really could make it 4 for 5. So let's just watch the show, I guess, as this goes back to 10:20 left to go in the third. But again, if it was any other team, but you say it about the Oilers, when they're on the power play, it's must watch. As Bouchard on his back pass, he really want to get it back to McDavid. He could get 6 assists right here. McDavid off the drop near the left dot. Here is Draisaitl. Draisaitl will throw it back to Bouchard near the right side blue line. Very slow, methodical here are the Oilers. They know what they can do, what they want. Hanley kept on the outside. Draisaitl got his lane cut off near the right dot to reverse Ovechkin. This is not cleared. It's right off Bouchard's skates. Still with the Oilers. High slot Draisaitl. RNH off the bumper. Save Wolf. It's loose. and this will just be put around the end boards right to the Oilers again. Again, as Cooper said, nothing too crazy about what they do, but the puck movement, player movement is beautiful. As this is a chance that just gets knocked off. Away from Backlund. Draisaitl behind the net, looking for a one-timer. This bounces, good save Wolf at the left pad. Finally, down the ice. 9:10 left to go in this third. 35 seconds left in the power play. Connor Ingram takes a bounce pass. Now the Oilers off the rush from left to right. Here's a drop from Matthias Ekholm. It was Roslovic for a moment. Verstavich out there. Goes right to Roslovic. He gets wiped out. He's all tied up. Oilers still with the puck. High slot. Take a wrister. This one blocked off the left side of the dot. That's where it is now. Roslovic back behind his net. This is getting even hard to watch for me as far as tracking because it's just the spacing so good. Picked up now for Henrique. Now for Ekholm. Bounced off of him. And now outside the box was Rasmus Andersson, but it bounced off his skate. Rasmus Andersson now left side red line. I would not be surprised if he gets roughed up. Darnell Nurse goes right after him. And there's a hand in the air. Flames are going to power play. We knew exactly what was going to happen. Darnell Nurse still wants Rasmus Andersson. He's not leaving him alone. Here the Flames walk in, shoot Kadri. This could get really ugly over the last 8 minutes. It's picked up now for the Flames. Toward the right side point, Kadri gets the steal. Look for a cross pass for Zary. Huberdeau can't find it. Hanley. Flames still got the delayed extra man. And now Darnell Nurse again. He's getting a little too cute. Now Rasmus Andersson cross-checks in. He's getting worked over. Darnell Nurse now is getting a little silly.
Bahl's getting in there as well. He threw a big check on Nurse, who had actually tripped Rasmus, who was trying to go collect a puck in the near corner. Players have come together here. No fisticuffs, but even Jonathan Huberdeau's in there. And we saw that a little bit last year, too, John Huberdeau. He's not afraid to get in there when necessary, but man, Rasmus Andersson has been the center of attention for all the wrong reasons tonight.
A little bit of a bear hug there and a push and then a cross check for Darnell Nurse and then more Nurse action with a hold. Got a punch in the back of the head. I mean, yeah, he's drawing the ire there of Darnell. It's just all highlights there. And then he tries to go after Kevin Bahl, too. And then gets cross-checked from Adam Henrique as we go to break. So all sorts of a mess.
Yeah, and I think with 7:48 to go here, we can start to almost breathe easier as the seconds tick off, John. We know the outcome of this one, barring something that's basically would be almost unprecedented. But yeah, Andersson, I don't know, just seemed to let the bad blood of the Battle of Alberta take the lead tonight. And we know he's such a talented and skilled player, but yeah, that play at center ice is not what you love to see from a player who, honestly, I think for being fair, knows better.
So I want to ask you this, honestly, Cooper. As you go back in from the break and then you play these two teams again on Saturday, what changes when you go back to the Saddle Dome? What do you do differently?
Well, look, I'm not sure if you're going to go full lineup shakeup. You might want to try a different spot for maybe one or two of those players shifting around. I like what I've seen from, I like what I saw from Backlund in that Vegas Golden Knights matchup, but he's cooled off a little bit tonight. He's been in some good spots, but hasn't been able to convert, let a puck bounce off of his stick and just in that last shift. But I think what you have to do is basically sit yourself down, and I think it's just about messaging here, John, that you're going to play this team a lot of times. If you're on the Calgary Flames for more than a couple of seasons, you're playing in and out, year in and year out, I mean to say. And I know you want to take them down. I know they're the rival. I love that both these teams buy into the rivalry. I'm glad that regardless of the roster makeup, that everyone is locked in on how intense this thing is. But the Flames just let that be their only guiding light tonight, and it's turned around and bit them. I think it's got to be about quality play first, and maybe you go back and look at some of that Golden Knights tape, that 6-3 win that the Flames had just a few nights ago, and just look at what worked. Keep it simple. Put that back in your game plan and let that lead the way.
That's what I think for the main thing. Because again, I'm not going to say power plays and penalties. It's a part of it, but it's It's hard to stop all the best guys on Edmonton when they got the puck, but you got to get that shot volume back from me. Work those chances from the point, get traffic out in front, kind of make that the forefront as you mentioned. That's Huberdeau now, but this is power play practice for the Flames, and they really need to get one, at least not to just feel better, but get some specialty work there on their power play, make it look good, and see what their best plan of attack is there as well. As Nazem Kadri try to get it to Andersson, and he's nowhere near the puck. I'm not sure what Andersson was even pointing at near the bench. The more Cooper brings that up, the more I'm in lockstep with him. I just don't like the body language tonight. Brustevich off the drop pass here for Morgan Frost. Frost now gets everybody to back up here. They can do that, kind of park the bus. It's 5-1. McDavid's got 5 assists. Draisaitl's got 3 goals. Good move there for Huberdeau. To the left side red line off to give back to him. This is Brustevich. I like the fact that he's getting some chances out there. Good save Ingram. That was his best. Haven't had a chance to call his name that much, but a secondary rebound save with the left pad. Here is Podkolzin. Send this one in. A little cataclysm off the glass. As this is picked up now toward the left side boards for Brustevich one more time. Start for Coleman. Blake Coleman, number 20. Good flip pass here for Joel Farabee. Play this on the backhand now. A lot of Flames in tight. Got to be careful if you're Brustevich because you're dealing with an odd man. Here we go now, McDavid. That is a good save, Dustin Wolf. That was a second 2-on-1, but this time McDavid had it, not Draisaitl. Picked up here for Zeri. Look now for Rasmus Andersson already back out there. Quick change for him. Farabee walks in, shoots, missed the net. To the left side dot. Farabee now. Regula try to get a piece of it. Taking down one of the Flames. Here's McDavid. Stutter step. Good cancel out by Wolf again with the right pad. He is a different looking player every time he goes up and down the ice. That's the best thing you can say about 97. Quick change for him. Kevin Bahl with a series of moves. He gets hit hard, pushed around by a few of the Oilers. That was Jack Roslovic off the last hit. Outstretched pass across the Oilers logo is picked off. Womberg had it. Again, he's out there with Backlund. They're mixing a little third and fourth line for Ryan Huska's squad just to find something in the last 5 minutes. Roslovic wide open on the right wing. Send this one back to the point. Picked off by Womberg. His outlet pass. You got Coronato out there with Ryan Womberg right now. Don't think I've ever said that. This is picked up here for Roslovic. I think Ryan Huska is awarding number 17. He should be. He's been one of the best Flames. Opportunity now for Backlund. Got Coronato with him. Here's a flip pass. There's a shot that gets taken away toward the left dot. Regula gets a theft. Try to get this one Majapani and just clear this one on the right side red line. Brustevich. 4:35 left to go in the third. Shot board 39-17. McDavid, 10 goals, 31 points, and 11-game scoring streak. That is absolutely absurd. There's Jones. We'll send this one in. Brustevich goes from right to left. Picked up here for Huberdeau, but he loses the puck. Didn't have much help as the Flames were in the midst of a change. Recollected now. 8-2-1 in the last 11 would be the Oilers. Again, we mentioned both the Flames and Oilers have played well, but this has been a punch-in-the-face type of matchup. Beecher. Now Sharangovich for a moment as we're down to 4 minutes. John here with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. In the set to close out this pre-Christmas battle. Again, these two teams will meet again on Saturday, but I wonder what's going to change after this because this might be the best I've seen the Oilers look. We've seen some good games in between the Penguins, the Red Wings over the last few, and McDavid has just been the machine. That's what he is. As Sharangovich, it eludes Nazem Kadri. And we're down to 3:30. Now to the left side red line, cleared in again. Dustin Wolf has been about as good as he can be, and yet still giving up 5 goals. If not for him, as Cooper and I mentioned, probably could be 7 or 8 at least. As it's Darnell Nurse will switch the sides of the ice. Now, if you see he draws more iron, Nazem Kadri, good steal. Here's the drop pass. Flames trying to get something going with Farabee. Here's Kadri. Look for a pass up the gut. Rasmus Andersson back out there, sends it toward the net as the fans are doing the wave here at Rogers. This will be Brustevich on his back skate and picked up now for the Oilers who send it in right in behind us and Wolf. Again, just 2 shots this third period. And no matter how Cooper and I can tell you that, that's just not what you want to hear as they're getting a long look on the breakout. for the Flames. Morgan Frost, good windmill drag. Now for Farabee, former Philadelphia Flyers, but this one's picked off up the gut. It's a 3-on-3. Bahl has the back check as he's protecting the net. Jones sends it around the end boards. Adam Klapka will recollect right in front of the circles, and this will be kissed off the glass. 2:15 left to go before the break for these two teams. Again, Calgary's played well throughout the rest of this, so you just got to build back on, and Edmonton is continuing to do what they do. They're trying to get farther in the Pacific and catch the Ducks. They're getting closer to doing so. Here's a chance to the left side. Backlund will throw it in. Connor Zary gets the puck for a moment. Backlund tries to throw it at the net. Number 47 picks it back up. Zary spin and turn. This is back in the point for Hanley. Coleman, slap pass, intentionally deflected. Oilers will take care of that. They will flip it. It was picked off by Backlund. Good work there. Now on his forehand, he'll leave a drop pass. Have to kind of push in front there of the Flames, and they can't get to it in time. With 90 seconds left to go in the third, the Oilers are content to change it down. They'll get a change themselves. And now Coronato steps through a hit right across the Oilers logo as this goes toward the right side blue line. Kadri falls down, makes a play, and then loses the puck. Backhand pass might be a good one, but have to go back on side as Verstavich will get one more chance out there. Huberdeau will try to flip it, and this one gets deflected and knocked away from Jones. And the Flames are offside. We finally get a whistle.
Yeah, good stretch on broken play right there. And, with less than a minute remaining here, John, I got to say it's almost merciful to see that because the Flames with just a couple of shots in the third, 8 in the first, 8 in the second, and now, can't even get up to the 3, 4, or 5 mark. That's rough. So, listen, you asked that question earlier. What do? I mean, you almost toss this thing out. However, you can start to build back by saying, hey, can we improve just 1 or 2 areas of our entire game? Then you're doing the right thing. Is it getting more shots? Is it being more disciplined? You name it, any improvement is going to make a difference here because this has been a really rough night for the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, I like that little ray of sunshine in terms of this game. I agree with you, Cooper. You really have to kind of take it that way and start at brass tacks because I think on the other end, the type of team Edmonton can be. You see it a lot as you meet 4 times in the Pacific, but especially in this game. It was a little bit self-inflicted with those power plays, and yeah, some of those are hard to avoid, as I've said, but you got to do a little bit of both. You get a couple things to go your way, and it might change, at least make it a little bit closer, as you got 15 seconds left to go in the third, and if I've ever said this before, it's just going to be a pass back and forth, and then we're just going to end it. Ooh, Klapka gets a stick toward the face of Darnell Nurse, and now Regula, you get it right across the side of the face. Here we go. You take it away.
Oh my, Lomberg got in there as well. That really put gasoline on the fire. Yeah, it was Klapka and Nurse having words now because Netsov trying to get a bear hug around Darnell Nurse as other players are wrapped up in the offensive end of what was the Flame. Yeah, by the way, still time on the clock. Stuff at 6.6. Lomberg's in the mix. You got Klapka in the mix. Multiple players with gloves off, sticks on the ice, John. Looks like this thing's going to get separated, but that is real Battle of Alberta stuff right there. Bad blood all over the place.
I'm not going to say, well, I should say it the correct way. Klapka shouldn't do that, but Darnell Nurse is always, he's doing a lot of extra stuff. There, Klapka really wants a piece of Nurse. I know those are tough guys, but the one thing that made me chuckle for 43, he just goes up nonchalant like he's having a chat there with Darnell and then clips him right on the side of his ear.
Oh, man, yeah, you knew it was going to go down after that. I'm surprised and almost relieved that the referee is able to get those 2 huge gentlemen off into their respective dressing rooms. And I love it. It's almost like they have a dry smile on their faces. They knew it was coming. They knew that things were going to get heated very, very quickly. And you know what? I'm not saying that this is the time of year to keep a grudge, but boy, with the way this game has gone, you got to imagine after the Christmas holiday, there's going to be a lot to settle on the ice when these 2 teams meet again.
Let me ask you this, and I'm just thinking this off the top of my head, Cooper, as we still got seconds before this game is done. What comparisons can I give between Milan Lucic and Adam Klapka?
I mean, only large, but larger than life. I think they command a ton of respect on and off the ice. Klapka is really, I love that you set me up for that one. I think Klapka has really jumped into that role that was once filled by Milan Lucic, who had, I would argue, a really nice run as a Calgary Flame. And Klapka, you can't miss him when he's out there on a shift, and he is just unafraid to make the most of his stature. He will go up against anybody, and Milan Lucic certainly did the same.
Yeah, I was going to mention another name, but I think you and I both hold Nikita Zadorov in a whole different light. I always just love to watch him.
I overthought my way out of that thing, John. I'll let you. You know what? We'll give Nikita a shout out here in a second. Technically, the Oilers are on a power play for 6.6 seconds. Knowing that, they'll probably score.
I was going to say, hopefully 6.6 not enough time, but if you get between 97 and 29, if they're back out there, but I don't see that personnel on the ice right here. It's just a secondary power play unit.
Yeah, I think they'll give the big boys a rest here. Not that these guys are any slouches, but no, I love that you set me up that way, John. Of course, I leave it to me to whiff on it. You're too sharp for me, my friend. But we both love Nikita Zadorov, and he also, not very similar to Milan Lucic. I think he also filled that role. So even though I missed a little bit, I think it still applies that Nikita, he was always ready to get in the mix. He always had. My favorite piece about Nikita Zadorov is Flame. He loved to moonlight as a forward. He always loved to step in from the blue line. And he does have that scoring touch. And I love what we're seeing here on the Sportsnet feed. You got referees who actually have the printout of the roster. Who's left available, who's been tossed out of the game, who's in the box. Well, we're going to put Zeri in the box as the Oilers will close out this game with a man up.
So that is how this game is essentially going to end. And I said that about a minute and a half ago before Adam Klapka decided to reignite the pilot flight, but we'll get one more puck drop at least. And Cooper and I were entertained in this game. I'm not going to say that you love the result, but still be as neutral as we can be. At least you can highlight 29 and 97 in this game, as you usually do. I don't think we're going to get much more after the whistle here, but I don't know what more you can say. You got Dustin Wolf with all those saves in the second period, but those passes, and again, I'll mention this for Cooper as well. That look that Hyman gave McDavid on that latest power play goal from him, and that wry smile, that almost gross look, that kind of is the vision that's going to be embroiled in my brain tonight.
Yeah, that is the image of the night for sure. When the gift is so good from McDavid that you can't even smile. You just go, I can't believe that you gave me something so valuable. Basically, that's the look that he gave him as we are on this Christmas Eve. And it was, dare I say, not a silent night tonight.
No.
It was a loud one, especially because the goal horn was continually sounding for the Oilers 5 put into the back of the net tonight. Just the one off the stick of MacKenzie Weegar for the Flames. And so it's a big victory in this Battle of Alberta for Edmonton. And the narrative is an interesting one. Not that it's a new one, but it's definitely that classic bad blood, grudges, sandpaper kind of narrative for these two teams that will face each other again in just a few days' time.
Well, it's been a lot of fun over the last couple of broadcasts, Cooper. They're going to hook up, get a couple of these before we go to 2026. Again, as I said, I'm going to start getting my passport squared away and get that settled here because I know it takes about 6 months. And then whenever we decide, as soon as the schedule comes out for next year, we can plot a course to the Saddle Dome and catch a game in. Now, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't want to watch the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, but I think you have to do the best for us to pick the best possible game for us to go see.
Oh, we will certainly take a look, my friend. I know we'll have a lot of great conversations about that, and we'll get something really exciting dialed in. And if it ends up being a Battle of Alberta, well, that would certainly be apropos. I'm just looking forward to that trip with you, and you get that passport squared away, and we'll get the rest of the details lined up. But for now, we get to enjoy a special holiday, and I'm glad that you're going to be with your family, and then Lauren's family as well. And I'm certainly always, I know we've said this many times, but it remains true whether it's a holiday or not. Really grateful for our friendship and our partnership when we jump on the microphone. And I'm so happy that we got, after a little respite, a little hiatus, John, we got 2 in 1 week. And they were different games for the Flames, but they're always great games for us.
And I appreciate you, Cooper, as always. Again, I hope you have a great holidays, New Year, Christmas, everything else. I know there's going to be big stuff happening for you in 2026. I'm looking forward to hearing about all of that. I'm hoping the Sharks can bring one home a little bit for me in March and April, but I'm hoping also as well, if you're not going to be too busy, if the Wings don't fall apart in March and April, you do owe me a playoff broadcast with Detroit.
Oh, I certainly do. And even though I was on and off the mic a little bit tonight, thanks for your patience, I will be ready to go. We will iron out all the kinks and make sure that we go wire to wire and hopefully get to call a really exciting, not only one game of series, maybe we can get in multiple and see something really special from the winged wheel as we get closer to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, because otherwise it's been a decade. It's been far too long. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right, pal. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All the best to you guys. And we will talk very soon.
All right, see you.